Wouldn't be a normal day without StreamYard issues. Hello. Happy Friday. It's Friday. I like Fridays. Hello. Let's see who's in here. We're back. We're gonna pick up right where we left off, baby. We are going right into the detective document, right where we left off. I did change the members only. Don't hate me. Don't come for me. We're doing it tomorrow night. I don't want to be rushed. Tonight I will be going on a panel with my girl Amber, ATS News. So I don't want to be rushed because I want to have a really good time in the members only. So that'll be tomorrow evening. I'll schedule it tonight, but definitely tune in to ATS if you guys want to go over the interview we already did with Bubba. Ow, my elbow. I hit my funny bone. So I'll be doing that. That's why I moved it. But thank you for being here. Please make sure you tap the like button on the way in. We are reading the investigative documents from the Mackenzie Shirilla case. Disclaimer again. I know I already pinned it. Oh, let me remove that. I got a lot of comments that were like, "Are you changing your mind? Do you think Kenzie's innocent?" No, that's not the case here. Just because we are willing to look at the other side and everything that's out there doesn't mean anything, really. Personally, have my feelings changed? Yeah, they have. But it's not about my feelings here. It's about what's in the documents. And it's an unfiltered discussion. So relax, grab your drink. Let's get into it. We'll talk more about the drama stuff on the members only tomorrow night. Let's see. Let me pull it up and let me say hello to everyone. Sorry, my mic was being weird. Let me see who's here. Taking roll. Oh, I saw Ivelina Markova become a member. Thank you, Ivelina. Hope I'm saying that right. That's a pretty name. Evie F. Chupin, what up? Debbie does not miss on being here and supporting. Shout out to someone bought me, was it a coffee? Oh no, someone sent me a Cash App earlier. If you can support, that is great. It's always appreciated, but I just appreciate your time nonetheless. I think it was, let me see who sent that. I just want to say thank you because it does help things running. I will be changing my background too this weekend. So shout out to everyone that helps. Heather. Thank you, Heather. Let's see. Okay, so I was saying hi to everyone. Hello. Doreen, I saw Robin. Melly, why didn't police take information off Davion's phone? He was on when they turned the road. You know, Davion's file is actually very small. Let me pull it up. Do I have it up, the folder? Davion's doesn't have a lot of information, but we can review exactly what's in the FOIA. So you can see, but I would like to know what he was doing on his phone. Happy day. Hopefully Melly will motivate cleaning. I need to do that. No cleaning. Pop some bottles. I can't even with the last video. Drakey says Adam Montgomery. Oh, I don't want to talk about that. Ugh. That's a different type of case. That one makes me like really angry, like in my soul. You know what I mean? I can't handle. We do cover cases with children, but those are the ones that just really, really get under my skin. Like I'm probably not going to be very nice. So just a heads up. But I do plan on covering, yes, little Harmony Montgomery, which makes me think too, like Kenzie might get her appeal approved. We don't know. So it's important to be open-minded. I would love to know their last actions on their phone. Diamond Davion. Hey, Jametta. Hey, Jay Warren. Loyal. Put Melly. And listen while you clean. I'll do that. Yeah, I know I need to clean though. Hi, Abuelita. Fin de semana. Sí. Hello, Jay. You're mad at in your love. Hello, how are you doing? Thank you, Gracie. I really am enjoying the channel. ATS sent me. Yes, I love my girl ATS. If I tell you to watch someone or support someone, it's you can have my word. All right. We're a community here. I don't support everyone. Not that I'm a hater, but you learn on YouTube. That would be an interesting discussion to talk. But nonetheless, what I'm trying to say is ATS is awesome. So I will be on her panel tonight. reviewing Bubba on JFK, which we already did here. But I like to go there and hang out. She's a great community. So thank you, Neat Noodle, for coming on over. Anyone else scheduled their work break around this live or not? Been speaking Spanish for years. Yes, looking fans. Oh, really? Thank you. Okay, let's get started. Mm, okay, got it. Let me put chat up. This is where we left off on yesterday, August 12th, 2022. We were just reading the search warrant Metro Health Bank information. What time for the members only tomorrow? I'm hoping I'm PST Pacific. So I'm thinking maybe like between 3 and 5. I'll for sure schedule it tonight though. You guys can always let me know too. If you're a member and you really want to be there and you can't, like, and you message me. I know I have a lot of members, and shout out to all of you. You guys help a lot and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I can try to like work around it. No, tonight. No, not tonight. I'm going on ATS. Tonight I'm going on ATS. We're just going to be reviewing Bubba's interview, which you guys should tune in. It's a great place over there. That's why I go on her panel. I've been over there. I have to have her on actually. Now that I'm bringing it up, but I've been over there like a ton. Pumpkin. Okay, let's get started. August 12th, 2022. So I emailed Chief Ludwell of the Berea. Is it Berea or Berea? I thought I heard it in the video last night. And now I forgot. I have short-term memory. I can barely remember what I did yesterday. Requesting a statement from the fire medic who found the bag of mushrooms and scale on Mackenzie while she was in the back of the ambulance. This is public information. This is right out of the FOIA. You can access it. It is out there publicly. David Sims exported text messages to network folder and shared news articles about motor vehicle crashes and the shroomies. The email was forwarded to the APA troop. I submitted the vial of Mackenzie's blood that I collected the previous day to the CCME's office. It was received by Abigail. The inbound evidence report was enclosed in this case jacket. Judge Brian Corrigan signed the search warrant for the blood bank. I called Scott and, well, the Flanagans to give them an update. Services for Davion would be held on Monday at 10:30 at Grace Church in Middleburg Heights. Jamie mentioned an Instagram post between a modeling company called Vitali and Natalie Shirilla on Instagram. We've seen this. So they say this is that. Oh, this is a screenshot from our daughter Divine's phone of social media posts from Kenzie about her modeling career. The post is from later in the week after the accident while Kenzie was in the hospital. Divine believes that it was approximately 2 days after the accident. The post was commented at both by Kenzie and her mother, talking about furthering her modeling career. We're extremely upset to see this post and felt it was very disrespectful to our family's loss and to Davion and Dom. It is sickening that someone could be so self-absorbed after causing the death of 2 people and destroying any hopes of their future plans. Oh. So the company says, we love this look at Kenzie Shirilla. Can we use this post on our website and emails? We'll make sure you're credited. Reply to this comment with hashtag community if so. Sorry, I'm like reading little print here. But I know I have this in a file, in a PDF. Thank you for this. Natalie, homegirl, Natalie says, thank you for this amazing opportunity. Hello, this is her mother. She would love if you would use that. She's actually trying to contact you guys over PR email. It was a tragic accident, and she did not purposely mean put an end to any of her close friends' life. This is just as painful as it is for her, as it is for everybody else, or maybe even a little bit more painful. Now rereading this, like, Natalie, please don't ever leave another comment in your life. Kenzie then says, thank you for the comment. I would love to work with you guys. I've been emailing you guys a lot. It's such a great opportunity. Thank you. I'm not impressed. Hey, Crystal. Unintentional. Had that one girl, Melly, and dropped your channel. Oh, okay. Alex started covering this case and I dropped your channel there. I haven't been much over there, but thank you, Noodle, for letting me know. Um, I appreciate you. I'll have to go check it out. Oh, hey, ATS. Did I say ATS in here? Pronounced. Yeah. Wait, somebody said I pronounced it wrong. Listening only, rewatching the crash. Oh, abuelita. Yes, ATS News is in here. That's whose channel I mentioned earlier. Berea. Berea? Okay. Berea. So Natalie and Kenzie, Natalie's living vicariously through Kenzie trying to be a model here. Let's move on. Summary. Mackenzie's school records. This is what we wanted to see because in the school records, allegedly, there was some talk of pots. So, Andy, the director of the student services of the Strongsville City Schools, complied with a subpoena request for Mackenzie's school records. 5 PDF documents containing redacted information were attached to the email. I forwarded the email to APA Troop and asked him if he wanted a non redacted version. He said to wait. The school records are digitally attached to the folder. In the document titled Shirilla, I noted the following: medical and educational information. Oh, in November 2017, Dr. Siverman, a neurologist, diagnosed Mackenzie with POTS. I know this is like probably just stuff that Natalie's giving them too, but I guess I would like to hear from that neurologist. And I'm wondering why that didn't come into play in the trial. Dr. Cutter, Mackenzie's pediatrician, noted that POTS often causes transient lightheadedness, dizziness. Dr. Jess Levy, a psychiatrist, diagnosed Mackenzie with anxiety disorder. Mackenzie was prescribed Zoloft. Ugh, okay, this is like a touchy subject because I know a lot of us have tried these. I know big pharma is a big thing in the world. I used to work for big pharma, so I get it. But that's young. It's hard to diagnose a lot of the time with, like, by behavior or mental disorders. I think especially, very specific when it comes to children, right? Mm, anxiety disorder? I think they misdiagnosed her. From August 2018 to May, but I am not a doctor, this is just my opinion only, commentary only. We all have our own experiences. From August 2018 to May 2021, Mackenzie had several behavioral referrals at Strongsville High School. Most of the offenses fell under one of the categories: skipping class, truancy, defiance, disobedience, noncompliance, and disrespect, insolence, and rudeness. What does that mean? Insolence is rude and disrespectful. Or boldly impertinent behavior that intentionally disregards social norms. Not surprised. January 2020, Miss Carey, the school therapist, noted that Mackenzie was participating in therapy to manage symptoms of generalized anxiety disorder, disruptive mood dysregulation disorder. Okay. Um Does this change what we think? No. But does it play a factor? I think it should if we wanna be fair. Mental health is very important, and I take it very seriously here. So, you can have your opinion, and we can agree to disagree, but let's be cool. Kenzie was a team model. It wasn't work with an agency. They just asked to use one picture. Yeah, Barry. She wasn't a model. Hey, Vanjie. Hey, Victoria. This is just according to the parents. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess I would be curious where the medical paperwork is. Exactly. I definitely, understand that this is probably Natalie reporting this to the school, but I want to at least recognize that she is dropping physicians' names here. So I would be curious. It didn't come in because there probably wasn't a real diagnosis. Hi, autism boy mom. Then Mackenzie Shirilla should never have driven. Sorry, I don't do the phonetic alphabet, just as Millie pronounced it correctly earlier. Okay. Hey, Lindsay. All of these things could stem from her eating disorder. Shouldn't POTS be diagnosed by a cardiologist? I don't know about that. She is her father's. The things they find to diagnose kids these days, it's shameful you can't diagnose adults for bad parenting. That's what I mean. It is hard, but I have had my issues in the past, especially as a kid. So I'm not going to sit here and like say that that wasn't complicated. And I'm sure many of you, whether you want to admit it or not, and you don't have to, it's a chat, but we either know someone who has some kind of or issue or has struggled with this kind of stuff. And by that I mean mental health issues. I think it's normal to I know people are very uncomfortable, but I'm actually very comfortable talking about this kind of stuff. And I think that our society needs to be more accepting of it. Not that I'm saying it gives Mackenzie Cheryl a pass, but mental health is important. And do I think there was something going on? Something. I mean, she was completely unhinged. Aside from the bad parenting, which at the end of the day, who's to say who's the perfect parent? I'm not even a parent, so I really should just shut the fuck up and not really say anything about it, but I can at least speak from experience of in a position where I was a rebellious teenager. So I don't know. I think it's just important to be realistic about it and open-minded. So she was diagnosed with a generalized anxiety disorder, disruptive mood dysregulation disorder. Let me put that into ChatGPT. Um, Interesting. DMDD is a childhood mental health condition. Childhood mental health. Remember, I always said I thought there was always something stemming. Same, Ellie. It's completely human. You guys were humans. Like, I know people are ashamed of stuff or embarrassed or even just feel some type of way about it, which I respect, but mental health is very real. And whether we've experienced it or have yet to experience it, it's a real fucking thing. I'm comfortable talking about my mental health. I am too. I have gone through a lot. So if it could help anyone, I know it's very complicated to get real mental health help and to really get diagnosed and to really get the help you need. I know that's complicated to get from someone who, I come from a good background and it's been a thing. But at least when I was younger. So now that I'm an adult and I've overcome that, I'm very proud of myself. So all of you should be too, if you have experienced that or know someone who has brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, parents. Let's look into disruptive mood behavior. It's a mental health condition characterized by severe chronic irritability and frequent and intense temper outburst. It causes significant impairment at home, in school, and within peers. That part is like, I think Kenzie. That actually sounds like Kenzie. You know what I mean? There's some clips too that Plunder dropped. I want to play them in this live, or maybe the members only, but probably this live. I'll try to get to them and play them in between the reading. She like goes to the police station with her dad, and just like the way she acts, I was a little stunned. Although I have covered this case from before even the documentary came out. So what am I stunned about? Because I know Kenzie is a very special type of person. But it was just weird to see her like interact with her dad and just how rude and like out of like she does not get it. Like there's something there. You know what I mean? It causes significant impairment at home, in school, and within peers. Understanding disorder involves looking at its key diagnostic markers, how it is treated, and where families can find professional support. Chronic irritability is one of the key symptoms. Severe outbursts, intense verbal or behavior outburst, verbal rages or physical aggression that occur on an average 3 or more times. I mean, we see that in the text messages just alone with Dom. So imagine with her friends and her family. Out of proportion, outbursts that are grossly out of proportion to the situation and developmentally inappropriate. Symptoms must be present for at least 12 months in 2 settings. Medication or psychotherapy. CBT can help children regulate their emotions. Hmm. DMD is thought to be a precursor to borderline, and she should have been reevaluated when turned 18 to probably diagnose her. No doubt, textbook borderline. I kind of agree with that as well. Yeah, and I think even just being diagnosed is hard. New to your channel, but not new to true crime. Glad to be here. Thank you, Gavin. Gave it gavel and roses. Oh, I like that. I love roses. We're Beyblades who love each other, issues and all. Thank you, Green Nine, for saying that. That's absolutely true. I appreciate that. It runs in the family, and I'm always okay talking to others about it. Not everyone is, so I like that we are. But that's interesting. That's interesting. And if that was in 2020, yeah, I think she should have been. Does that excuse what she did? No. Could she still be evil? Yeah. I'm two things can be true at once, and they are. But this is interesting because this actually does really sound like Kenzie. Is a condition in which children or adolescents. This is from the Government Health Public Publications, National Institute of Mental Health. It's a condition in which children or adolescents experience ongoing irritability, anger, and frequent intense temper outburst. Youth with DMDD experience significant problems at home and at school and often with peers. They also tend to require mental health care services, including doctor visits and sometimes hospitalization. DMDD can be treated. Severe temper outburst. Okay, we went through that. Trouble functioning due to irritability. Chronically angry. Over time, as children grow and develop, the symptoms of DMDD may change. For example, an adolescent or young adult with DMDD may experience fear tantrums, but they may begin to exhibit symptoms of depression or anxiety. For this reason, treatment may change over time too. Yeah, that goes with what the comment just said in the chat. She could have been tested for other things and things could have changed. Children with DMDD have trouble in school and difficult maintaining healthy relationships. Dude, Kenzie couldn't get through one subject. Not even one, if we want to be realistic. The mental health issues contribute more for the prosecution, as it suggests she triggered and angry and reacted by taking out on other occupants. Kenzie, yes, they're different, but let us remember Kenzie was dabbling in, yes, witchcraft stuff opens other doors, so do drugs. That's why I said, the evil part could still be there. I've been in every level of eating care disorder and worked in the field if anyone has questions around the role a death played. Thanks, Jules, for sharing. And that's awesome. I love that. We have people here that kind of hard to diagnose a kid while actively using drugs. No, absolutely, fancy pants. And she was smoking every day, which isn't like, I don't think it's a bad thing, but depending on the mental health issues, the child, the age, the home life. Ms. Jankar noted that due to aforementioned mental health conditions, Mackenzie experiences the following symptoms. Heart racing, racing thoughts, inability to focus, is easily distracted, is easily frustrated, shows low intolerance to irritation, has difficulty making decisions. This is actually really Kenzie. We remember she couldn't put an outfit together for the life of her. I believe the DMDD overpots. I do too. No, this is really her. Remember when she says like she would wake up like sweating with racing thoughts? We know all of these are true, but has difficulty making decisions. She got in like emotional abusive relation fights with Dom over an outfit. Like, is it really that big of a deal? Half the time I'm in like workout clothes or like yoga pants or like a Nirvana t-shirt that probably has like coffee stains on it. I don't know. But I guess this is different times, and she's in high school. So, how's verbal or physical aggressive outburst, tearfulness, withdrawn behaviors, freezes up when called on in class, avoidance behaviors? Hmm. Verbal or physical aggressive outburst. I mean, yeah. Hmm. Page 9, manifestation determination review. Mackenzie was suspended from school for 10 days and recommended for expulsion from Polaris, where she was taking classes. On May 5th, 2021, Mackenzie was involved in an altercation with another student in the parking lot of Polaris. In December of 2019, Mackenzie was suspended from school after threatening a student with whom she was not supposed to communicate. Her behavior, according to school officials, was not manifested by her disability. By her disability. Hmm. Clearly, the school thought there was more going on than maybe her own parents, or maybe it's just something Steve and Natalie have a hard time with. Interesting. Also, she was diagnosed with as an adolescent. Her mom took her and knew every symptom she had. Bingo. Thank you, Seagate. Love these videos. Thank you for being here. We love having you. Even with different times and being in high school, still melting down the way she did over what to wear was not normal. It's not. And you wonder if it's not normal, why do people do it, right? Weed can make people paranoid. It absolutely can. I never had that experience. But everyone's different. And I do have friends that I used to smoke with that would freak out on it. Surely that's contributed to her mental, like in high school and stuff. Hmm. In the document titled Shirilla Behavior Redacted, I noted the following. Page 1 of 7, 4/19/2021 at 12:44 hours. After an incident with an unidentified teacher, in the additional info section, the following was written by the teacher. Many of the students and a couple of the teachers commented on her behavior and the need for administration to take action. I have been asking for help with her all year long. I would like her removed from my rooms as I am no longer comfortable with being verbally attacked in front of students and being videotaped while it is happening. Page 6, 10/26/2021. After being seen by a teacher in the bathroom taking selfies, Mackenzie was asked to zip up her hoodie and go to class, to which she responded by calling the teacher a effing B and a dumb B. That is hard. It's very uncomfortable. Because, like, even if I was, like, going through it or whatever, spiraling out of control, I was always so respectful to, like, my teachers and stuff. Videotaping, smack talking to the teachers. I know. Private, why was she using substances to try to regulate? That's true. That's true. Children do use substances to try to regulate to feel normal. And if her parents were always doing it, Steve says he's a supporter of it. Um, maybe it was normal in her household. I don't know. Shirilla behavior on February 9th, 2018 says Mackenzie and another unidentified female student got into a fight outside the school as they were exiting the building to board their bus home. May 9th, 2018, so exactly 3 months later. Mackenzie allegedly said to another student, Quote, "If I was a slave owner, I would have you killed." What? That right there is like, holy shit. What? This statement was made in addition to other comments made at lunch about the student. Although Mackenzie reportedly denied making the statement, at least 3 witnesses claim that they heard her. 2018. How old was she then? She was 18 in 2022. Uh, can someone do that math? Um, what is she, like, 15? 14? I wonder if Steve and Natalie Shirilla just didn't wanna accept that there was something going on and they knew, or maybe they had tried to help her as a child with these behavioral issues, and they just were like, or if maybe they're just 100% complicit in all of it. I don't know. You let me know what your opinion is. Wow, that is crazy. 13 to 14. Yeah. She's a vile human. Clearly, she's a troubled kid, and I that truly does, like, make me feel a little bit sad. Um, but it doesn't excuse the shit that she's done, and it doesn't excuse the Shirley's either. Uh, June 6, 2018, an unidentified student reported that Mackenzie airdropped a meme of SpongeBob saying, "I spy an N word." Ooh, I don't even like to look at that word. Um, Upon being questioned, Mackenzie stated she airdropped the meme. I can't. Um, she stated she airdropped, which I hate how her and Dom used to call each other that, the slang version of it. But it's absolutely just I can't. I think that's why they excuse all her behavior. But it's her own personality, parenting just added to the feel. Upon being questioned, Mackenzie stated she was airdropped the meme but deleted it. She then changed her story for a few minutes later, stating that she never did receive such a meme. This became just cause for emergency removal. The meme was reportedly seen on the phone and directly attributed to Mackenzie. October 29th, 2018. During class, Mackenzie was seen playing a game on her phone. When the teacher asked her to get off the phone, Mackenzie told her she was playing a game with her mother. With Natalie? Hmm. I wonder if she just said that or if she really was. The teacher repeated herself a second time and Mackenzie failed to comply. When the teacher told her to go to the administration office, Mackenzie went to the restroom, locked herself in the stall. It took several teachers to address the matter with her. October 5th, 2019. So, like a year basically later. Mackenzie and unidentified friends arrived at the school dance smelling of marijuana and acting erratically. They were confronted by SPD who were present at the ticket table. They went to a school dance drunk and high, locked herself in a stall. Yeah. But then told Dom told her she couldn't use that word. Hey Tasha, good to see you. Not okay. Her parents probably chuckled. She was just a kid. Mackenzie and unidentified friends arrived at oh, I already read that. My bad. Mm, page 2 of 6, December 4th, 2019. Notice of out of school suspension with expulsion recommended. The letter, which was signed by Natalie, Highlighted repeated acts of misconduct and threats made by Mackenzie toward an other unidentified student. Look at the prison write-ups. I know we did go through those, so I'm really not surprised. How was she not kicked out of school? Well, I guess here it looks like they were trying to get her. Should have kept her in there, says that same. August 16th, statement, Berea Fire Department. That's interesting. School records there. Hmm. Berea Fire Department emailed me a statement, okay, saying that I was the officer in charge for the medic, that medic 1 was dispatched as mutual aid ambulance for a single car MVA that occurred on July 31st, 2022. I was dispatched and arrived on the scene at 6:37. So like an hour later. Wait, what time did the first police show up there? It was like 6, right? I still can't get over the fact that Kenzie was possibly coherent in a car with 2 people that were dying and died. BFD began assisting SFD companies in removing the driver of the vehicle who was laying on her right side and trapped by the dashboard of the car. Due to the extensive heavy front end damage. She was removed from the vehicle directly onto a backboard and then to BFD cot at 6:48, which began patient care contact. Driver of the vehicle was 17-year-old Mackenzie Shirilla. Patient was alert to name only and not location, events, or time. Wait, that's not true though. Or is this from a different, because remember she said her address and like about Dom and Davion living together. Patient was moved to ambulance for intimal treatment with life flight arrived on scene until life flight arrived on scene. Once an ambulance initial care was began, I conducted a hands-on head to toe rapid trauma assessment. During the trauma assessment, I found what appeared to be a quart size Ziploc bag of a large quantity of you know what under the patient's shirt in the center of her chest, and a black plastic square case that appeared 4x4 tucked in her waistband. Okay, this answers my question because I said, why would she hide that? Like, if she was at Rosie's or Paul's with at a party, that's like a very specific thing to hide, is what I said. The mushrooms, I guess I can see her hiding those, but like, why put them in her? Maybe they didn't wanna get pulled over in the morning, but it's like, I don't think so. Like, I don't think Kenzie cared that much. She put the scale in her waistband. She was stealing from Dom, says Abuelitas. Yeah, and perhaps maybe that's why there was mushrooms missing. The weight. Maybe nobody did take him, and Kenzie took him. Interesting. I think she was stealing from Dom too. And that's why nobody tripped as planned? Question mark. Allegedly, according to Rosie. Hmm. I removed both items from the patient. At this point, I do not remember if I handed directly to SPD officer or placed on our bench seat and then handed the items directly to SPD officer. I'm sorry, you don't remember how evidence was handled? Do I have a problem with that? Could have it changed things? I don't know, probably not. Who knows? Do I have a problem with that? Yes, because if I was the one in Kenzie's position, I would wanna make sure everything was done appropriately. I think that goes for all cases and all crimes and all arrest. He does not remember. I was the only one that handled the 2 items removed from the patient, and upon noticing the SPD officer in our ambulance, I gave them to him. Neither of the items were opened by myself at any time. We continued with our patient care and transferred patient to life flight personnel. Rosie's father left me a voicemail canceling the interview with his daughter. He explained that the decision to cancel was based on Rosie's doctor's recommendation given her mental and psychological status after the crash. I returned Graham's call and wished Rosie well. I asked him to call me when Rosie's able to talk. No way. Rosie used her mental health to get out of talking to police. Rosie, why is your mental and psychological status after the crash so severe? Because did we think you actually cared about Kenzie that much? I don't know. You would talk shit, she would talk shit, whatever. But at the same time, like, no, you did not. No, you did not. I didn't know this part. Is it maybe because you lied and you're living with that guilt? I don't know. I don't know. Rosie, maybe that's why you're having issues. Yeah, she sucks. Rosie's shady as hell. And that's one thing I want to say a lot of other things, but I'll wait till I'm solidified in my opinions. Evie says I'm cute. Oh, I'm cute. We're all cute. You're cute. I'm cute. We can all be cute. Interesting. So Rosie had mental and psychological status issues after the crash. Oh man. Rosie. Natalie Shirilla left me a voicemail on August 17, 2022, letting me know about rumors that David Tyler Proctor was planning on assaulting Mackenzie, which is Mackenzie's ex, upon her release from the hospital. She requested that I address the rumor with him. This matters because Tyler is the ex that went in there and gave an interview about a lot of Mackenzie's behavior. And who's telling the truth here, Tyler or Natalie? And why would Tyler be assaulting Mackenzie upon her release from the hospital? Tyler didn't have very good things to say about her. And we know Tyler's mom was the one who was like calling police, being like, Kenzie this, Kenzie that. And I'm just wondering why the sudden hostility towards Kenzie, or was that always there? Because why didn't you report that to police before? Maybe you didn't need to. I'm just saying, I'm looking at all angles of it. Why would he want to assault Mackenzie upon her release from the hospital? August 22nd, Detective Vanek received an email from Mick. The photo showing a vehicle traveling Progress Drive, given the lighting conditions and distance, the make and the model of the vehicle are unknown. Also, the difference in the time posted on the surveillance footage and the city camera was not determined. The difference in time posted on the surveillance footage and the city camera was not determined. Sounds like a few things were like undetermined here. I trust Tyler over Natalie all day, says Borders. He became the new plug. Boo, tomatoes. Well, I'm going to go with anyone other than Kenzie and Natalie. They have been proven to be liars and drama queens. Okay, I agree with that, but not everyone else. Just because everyone else involved doesn't mean they're not liars and drama queens. We just haven't seen that side of them. Do you hear me out? Do you see what I'm saying? Natalie Shirilla calls about mean people. We listened to this call. I have it posted in my videos tab. I called Natalie back and explained to her the best way to report threats to the police. She was advised to call 911 if she sees someone around her residence or to call the non emergency number for rumors. I overheard Mackenzie say that Rosie and Bubba were the ones who heard the rumors directly. I urged her to have them call me. I called Tyler. He did not answer. I was unable to leave him a voicemail because it was full. Phone interview, Tasneem. I called Tasneem, who goes by Tess. She had known Mackenzie since summer of 2021. Although they hung out as a part of a group, they were not close friends. I wanted to know from her about Mackenzie's driving. Tess described Mackenzie as a reckless driver who tended to speed in residential areas. She recounted from personal experience an incident whereby she was a passenger in a vehicle Mackenzie was driving. According to her, they were en route to South Park Mall in Strongsville when she told Mackenzie to slow down. Tess mentioned two friends who might be able to shed more light on this, Natalie and Hope. Hmm. I feel like I might remember her from a text message, but this was not a friend that knew Kenzie. So if she drove with her and saw this, I guess that's one thing, but like that's not someone that was close to Kenzie. And we know Natalie and Hope, they also had issues with Kenzie. So is this like true or are they just being haters? Respectfully. Boo, tomatoes. Kayla. Bubba and Rosie know everything like Natalie and Steve. Exactly. Nina, please come in and talk. I think Tyler could be the new plug because Kenzie always threatened to go back to him. I mean, she did leave Tyler and got with Dom while they were like dating. When asked about Dominic and Mackenzie's relationship, Tess said that they fought a lot. She described Mackenzie as selfish, who threw people under the bus. According to her, Mackenzie was disrespectful to her mother and father, especially in front of others. Tess seemed reluctant to provide information. At the time of the phone call, she was starting her freshman year at Kent State, did not want to get involved. She did, however, mention that she heard rumors about Mackenzie having used acid, Coca Cola, and MJ, although she never witnessed it. I called Natalie. She was identified by Tess and Davion's parents as someone who was close to Mackenzie. Natalie did not answer. I then called Bubba. He also did not answer. Just sneeze. I bet this was obviously before he did his interview. I reviewed an Excel document prepared. Okay, the following text stood out to me. The exchange took place on July 30th. Mackenzie said, "Are Paul's parents going to be there?" Rosie says, "No, they gone." Mackenzie says, "Do you think it's cool to trip there?" Rosie says, "Yeah." Mackenzie says, "Okay, I'm trusting you." Let me take a drink. What does Mackenzie mean by that? Like, okay, I'm trusting you. Rosie says, his parents aren't tweaks like Bubba. They would probably let him have people over. What does that mean, tweaks like Bubba's parents? It's not very nice, Rosie. Considering you've been in the family 9 years. Rosie says, I'm going to be at Paul's by 11. I'm just thinking because Kenzie allegedly got there closer to midnight. Rosie says, could we still buy off Dom's if you guys don't want to trip? You guys should just come hang out for a little or smoke or whatever. Mackenzie says, "Okay, bet. Do you need?" And she puts a mushroom emoji. She says, "We might come." Rosie says, "Yes. Me, Paul, Nina, and Bubba need them. Rosie and some bud. We want $40 worth of bud, and Bubba wants 3. Nina wants 2.5. Oh, what? Bubba wants 3. I want 2.5. Nina wants 1.5, and Paul wants 2.5. Hmm. The last reported line on Mackenzie's phone. August 23rd, 2022. I spoke with Christine Russo to update her on the status of the investigation. I confirmed that APA Troop and I will meet with her in the next few weeks in order to obtain screenshots of messages that she had been receiving from Mackenzie and her mother. Most notably, Miss Russo mentioned that for the past year, Mackenzie had been living with Dominic as opposed to living with her parents. Also, Miss Russo provided a phone number for one of Dominic's lifelong friends, Blair. Wait, so everyone called the mental health a lie. It looks really silly now on why no one speaks about Dom's issues, which he had many, says Kayla. This is how they might have counted what was left. Yerk says, guys, a police report Steve made when Kenzie was 5 about a reckless driver going on the street. Police says we've read the same text. No wonder Woozy and Sunderbean get along so well. I absolutely despise McKilla and her parents, says Beautifully Broken. I didn't know such evil and ignorance exist. Jamie says, because Bubba dad found out that there was people there that night and they moved the cars to make it look like they left. Crystal says, I think Rosie said it was too late because she didn't want to get in trouble for using. I don't think Rosie cared. Rosie used when she wanted to with Bubba. It seems like, I mean, they had just done shrooms like 2 weeks prior to this. I guess I'm not used to doing shrooms that frequently. I think the last time I might have tried them was maybe high school or in college. Who's victim blaming? Oh, Kayla. Is that who you think, Barbie? Yeah, because I know all of the places that's been mentioned in this one. One of her friends lives right down the road from my stepdaughter. Please? I don't know. You sound like a troll. Respectfully, I don't see how Rosie is a model. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, this is a document. Wait, what? They definitely both had issues. Who? I'm not victim blaming. It says Mackenzie's application for driver's license. I called the Ohio DMV or motor vehicles investigator Michelle about Mackenzie's application for driver's license. I inquired whether Mackenzie in her application listed whether or not she suffered from a condition that would affect her ability to drive. My suspicion arose after reading in Mackenzie's school records about her 2017 POTS and DMD diagnosis. She was able to review Mackenzie's application dated April 22nd, 2021, and told me she answered no to the following questions. That's true. In 2021, she didn't report it, and in 2022, she didn't report it either. She answered no to suffering from medical condition, suffered physical or mental condition, or whether she was chemically dependent on drug or alcohol. Well, she lied there because that should have been a yes. Yeah, that's true. Rosie which wishes she was a model, so they do. Uh, Interesting. Because Rosie never spoke with police, so her texts are vital in understanding the events leading up to the crime. That's true. Shortly thereafter, Ruminski emailed me a PDF of Mackenzie's application for driver's license. The document has been digitally added to the network folder and a hard copy enclosed in the case jacket. I called Blair. He did not answer. I was unable to leave a voicemail. Okay, he called Bubba again. So he definitely tried with Bubba for a while. Natalie also didn't answer. Sergeant Fox of the Ohio Highways Patrol Reconstruction Team emailed me or called me regarding the email I sent him on August 8th regarding the breaking discrepancy. The breaking discrepancy. So, what we keep on debating here, there was a breaking discrepancy. Sergeant Fox explained to me that the raw data would still need to be analyzed. I called Blair for a second time. The call went directly to his voicemail. And then Blair called back and said he would interview on August 26th. August 25th, I called Tyler. He did not answer. I was unable to leave him a voicemail. I called Blair back and confirmed the schedule change. We will be meeting on the 26th. APA Troop and I met at SPD. I updated him on the status of the investigation thus far and provided him with the hard drive containing a copy of the digital case folder. August 26th, I called Mackenzie's attorney, Brad. So that's a different attorney than we saw in the trial. To request an official interview with her. Upon asking the attorney if he was Mackenzie's legal counsel, he said no. He explained that he referred her to an attorney in the Cleveland. Oh, so he didn't want to take the case or didn't take the case for some reason. I sent the following email to Brad. Thank you for taking my call this morning. I would really appreciate if you would be kind enough to pass along my request for a formal interview with Mackenzie Shirilla. You may forward the message to her family and their legal counsel. It says, I then called Bubba to schedule an interview and he agreed. I called Proctor's mom to inquire whether she delivered the message from August 22nd to have him call me. Deanna says she had. In fact, she says she was shocked to know that Tyler had not called me back yet. She opined that he might be getting worried about getting Mackenzie in trouble and wanting to save face in front of his circle of friends. I stressed the importance of the information he possessed for my investigation, particularly about his relationship with Mackenzie, especially given the fact that Deanna relayed details about Mackenzie's relationship with Tyler pertaining to the infliction of bodily harm. I further explained to her that should Tyler not cooperate, the prosecutor will get involved directly to subpoena him. Because Tyler's mom claimed that she had heard Kenzie saying something like, I'm gonna unalive myself or unalive other people. Now we know one thing about entitled kids that they're all lawyered up. Hmm. I don't know, but late 90s, it was smoking blunts and drinking Tupac and Snoop Dogg days. I agree, Alyssa. But we weren't spitting or tripping. Hmm. Interesting. I called the captain Czak? Zach? Maybe that's silent C, with the Parma Heights Police Department to request assistance and identify a forensic mechanic to help with the inspection of the Toyota. Sergeant is a forensic mechanic with fire and explosion. She also requested a copy of the EDR document. I received a phone call from Steve. He is a local attorney representing Mackenzie. After introductions, he asked about blood and urine test. I did not answer questions except for officially requesting to interview Mackenzie. I provided him APA Troop's number and office should he know more details about the case. Captain called me back to let me know since the vehicle driven by Mackenzie was a 2018 Toyota, I would be able to obtain with a court order the Toyota's engineering report from the Toyota dealership. I called Bubba back for the phone interview. Detective Mason called Mark to inquire about the process of retaining his services for the forensic inspection of the Toyota. Mark called me back. We agreed for a forensic exam on August 30th. Phone interview with the Flanagans. I called Mr. and Mrs. Flanagan and updated them on the status of the case. During our conversation, I inquired about Davion's cell phone. I asked them who owned it, who paid for it, and who paid the bill. The Flanagans confirmed that Davion paid for the phone and the monthly bill, and he was a sole owner of it. I informed them of my intent to search the phone for text messages, calls, or recordings beginning July 31st. I further explained the reason behind the search would be to identify recordings, messages, or calls that might shed light on what was happening inside the vehicle from the time they left Brushwood Lane. Both Mr. and Mrs. Flanagan explained that they wanted to know the truth. I'm pretty sure we don't have that. Let me pull up the files I have. Let's see what's in Davion's folder. Because I would be curious to see what he was doing that right before the crash, because allegedly he was texting or doing something on his phone. Does it matter if it was important? Yes, it does. What is it? If it's important, I'm sure it would have played a part in the trial, or maybe not. Who was he texting? What was he doing? Because initially they said he was sleeping, and we know that wasn't true, according to Life 360. Let's go into Davion's folder and see if I have any text messages. Oh, Davion's has not very much stuff, just 9 items. Email, passcode, consent. There's like Snapchat files, but I don't see any text. Maybe we'll review this tomorrow. I have to go through these pictures because I don't know if YouTube will get mad. There's some audio files. Maybe he could have been on Snapchat. There's some pictures and videos of weed. I would be curious to know the dates on all of that. Next, I inquired whether Davion's best friend, Bubba, had been in contact with them. They stated that immediately after the crash, she requested and was granted permission to walk through Davion's bedroom as a means of seeking closure. Wait, Bubba wanted to walk through Davion's bedroom to seek closure? I don't get it. Were they really that good of friends? Because I think I watched on Davion's sister's TikTok, they weren't even, they were friends, but they weren't like that good of friends. So I'm what's going on? I didn't know he walked through his bedroom. I know he got stuff. Like they gave him like a medal or something, right? W- Did they search the rooms before? I'm just maybe they didn't because it was a crash. Nah, bro, too soon for all of that. Kenzie was desperate to get into Dom's. Yeah, Kenzie was desperate to get into Dom's, and it looks like Bubba was desperate to get into Davion's. That should have not been allowed. I agree, ATS. Was Kenzie offered a plea deal? I don't offered a pretrial deal. I don't think she was. Bubba may have been searching in the room to look for rugs. Davion's sister spoke on this. She found the walkthrough sus. I find it sus. They're okay. I'm sorry. That's weird. That's weird. If it was like Blair and Dom, I wouldn't find that weird. Because I think we knew like what level Blair was friends with Dom. But like with them, someone, well, Rosie being at the crash at 6, I don't know. Something feels off. Seeking closure. When I informed them that Landon was not cooperating with the investigation, they mentioned that Bubba had told them about an encounter he had with Steve at the hospital when he was visiting Mackenzie. According to Bubba, Steve looked him in the eye and asked to help him save his daughter. Interesting. I also informed the Flanagans about the situation with Metro Health regarding Mackenzie's blood vials and subsequent search for the blood vial at the blood bank. Finally, I told them that APA Troop was aware of the situation. Ooh, yeah. Remember, yeah. Landon told the Flanagans that. So Landon didn't even tell the police, Bubba. Interview with Blair. I arrived at the homeowner attorney Andrea Marie Griffiths invited me inside. Moments later, 20-year-old Blair, who goes by Blair, arrived with his mom. Blair told me he had known Dominic Russo for approximately 4 to 5 years after having met while attending Strongsville High School. Blair stated he used to communicate with Dominic on a daily basis. He considers him one of his best friends. When asked if Dominic ever confided in him about Dominic's relationship with Mackenzie, Blair asked that I be more specific. I narrowed the scope of the question by asking if he knew whether Dominic and Mackenzie got along, whether they fought, or whether Dominic expressed that Mackenzie was crazy or whether he was afraid of being around her. Blair said no. This is interesting because that Blair did know. We're going through that in the text messages. I know we haven't done the text messages this week, but tomorrow's members only, and then Sunday we'll resume with the text messages. But in the text messages, Blair is there during recording sessions when Kenzie and Dom are fighting. Remember the studio, etc. Yeah, I'm gonna post Blair's interview tonight. Have it. This was all early on. I wonder if at this time they didn't think Kenzie did it. Well, the prosecutor in the documentary says that they knew that she did it when Kenzie was asking for her license. So that was pretty early on. That was like towards the end of August, I believe. Please, Govkin, you're being too much. Like, chill out. I think Blair was protecting Dom, trying not to make him look bad. Kenzie literally called Dom gay for chilling with Blair so much. That's my point. That's exactly my point. That why did Blair say that he never saw that? It happened a lot. Blair informed me that the last time he had communicated with Dominic was the day of the crash. He further explained that communication was in the form of a message around 2200 hours on July 30th. The communication did not reveal where Dominic was. In terms of the content of the message, Blair and Dominic thanked him for kicking it with him because they hung out with him together earlier in the day. According to Blair, the conversation did not include any complaints about Mackenzie. In describing Dominic and Mackenzie's relationship, Blair was unable to provide enough details to shed light on the relationship. I asked him if they had displayed affection publicly or if they bickered in front of people. He said no. Okay, I have questions. Remember Kenzie being like, if you don't tell your fucking friends to leave, we're going to have a problem. Remember? He was good enough friends with Bubba to live with him because Blair lawyered up. That's why cops said so in the audio with Miss Russo. We're gonna go back through that. We're gonna go back through this interview with a fine tooth comb. Is that what they call it? It sounds like they had suspicions based on those questions. Like maybe the witnesses didn't think she did it on purpose and yet didn't want to tell on Dom and Kenzie. Maybe dude was in shock. It happened more than once. Maybe it was a secret. Thank you, Tiffany. Tiffany says that you're my new fave true crime right now. Thank you. Um, I don't know, but why he's saying no is not correct here. Maybe I don't know. Maybe let me go back and look. Maybe let me think. I know people do get intimidated when speaking to the police. He also denied seeing them fight or argue. Furthermore, Blair said Dominic never expressed concerns to him about his safety around Mackenzie or about her driving. Upon asking if he was ever a passenger in a vehicle operated by Mackenzie, he said once. When asked if he felt safe while she drove, he said, "Oh, yeah." According to him, he was not in fear for his life or regretful of being a passenger while she drove. Additionally, Blair said he never heard either Dominic or Mackenzie ever talk about unaliving herself. And Dominic never expressed fear of Mackenzie or any other indication that she was the S word. I asked Blair if he heard from Dominic anytime after their communication on July 30th. He said Dominic called him on FaceTime on July 31st at approximately 02:41 hours. Okay, we do know this, but Dom called him at 2:41 a.m., which aligns with my question of why was Dom reaching out to people that early in the night? Unless there was a threat or something, why would he be calling his friends and texting his family, "I love you" at 2:41 when they didn't even leave the house until what, 5 something AM? There's a couple hours in there of the time span. Because you would have thought if Kenzie was like, "I'm gonna kill you tonight," that's it. You better text your family. Okay, well, maybe he did. But, like, there was enough time for him to I guess I'm thinking of that time gap. He was tripping. A lot of you are saying maybe he was the one tripping. He may have felt something was off. I would believe that, actually. I'm a very spiritual person. I would be intimidated by Kenzie's outburst. I would be too. I can't imagine my niece being acting like Kenzie at that age. That's actually quite stunning. I would not be okay with that. As much as maybe I was a wild teenager. It's an actual thing. Kenzie seemed all mouth though, just making threats. There's no proof he was tripping. That's true. Well, that we have. We don't have the full toxicology or autopsy, right? Blair wasn't scared. He was sitting comfortably in that house that lawyer insisted. Mm. Blair did not answer because he was asleep. Blair confirmed it was unusual and out of the ordinary. See what I mean? Family says it wasn't unusual, but his friends say it was unusual. Which it could be different for both, right? But I'm just saying interesting how Blair also told me that Mackenzie had been trying to get in contact with Blair through Christine since the crash. Blair does not know why Mackenzie has been trying to contact him. He also mentioned that Kyle was one of other Dominic's friend who received the "I love you" text message. Wait, Kyle? Um, I don't see a Kyle folder in this, FOIA. I'm looking. Kyle. Oh, okay, Kyle M. Kyle M. Was there an interview with him? They interviewed Husney, Paul, Angelo, the ex, the Flanagans, and Miss Russo, which most of those are on my videos tab. They did not interview a Kyle. Before the crash, according to Blair, between 0241 hours and 033 hours, Dominic reportedly sent I love you text messages to his mother, father, and brother. On advice of his counsel, he did not give me Kyle's information. Blair said it was not unusual for Dominic to say I love you to his friends, but it was unusual for him to say it to Kyle and his father. And this is the part that a lot of people are talking about on TikTok. The I love yous could def be shrooms. Yeah. I'm sorry, that's not normal. She needs someone to tell her to put her in place so she realizes she's a bark. Who, Kenzie? Drinking and smoking while tripping is when bad things happen. Hi, Adrian. It's just plain old respect. She wasn't taught you treat people how you want to be treated. They were all high AF. We seem to we see Dom's dislike for the cops and how he always said, "Don't talk to them. They can search you," etc. Blair might just be the same way. I love you, Dad, at 5 a.m. Okay, but we know how Dom. There's also text messages about that Dom talks about his dad, right? That is public information that is out there. So is he going through like an emotional thing at this time and texting like his best friends and maybe people who he didn't have like the best relationship with? Because Blair is saying it was unusual for him to send that to his dad. And this is just Blair's opinion. It's not, I don't have to go by it, but I'm just saying. Regarding Mackenzie, Blair said he had known her through Dominic for approximately 3 years. The approximate 17 interview was audio recorded. Throughout the interview, I noticed Blair was reluctant to share information. He seemed reserved and quiet. Explained to Blair that Dominic's mother was the one who directed me to speak with him because he was Dominic's best friend and knew him. After providing him with my card and contact information, I encouraged him to share. We could always watch that though. Yeah, it's a 16-minute interview with Blair. Shall we? Shall we listen to that right now? I think I kind of want to, since we're reading about it. It's for not very long either. Let's listen to the one with Blair and then I do want to review Miss Russo's interview tomorrow. You'll understand more later. Oh, let me know if you guys can hear this. I can't hear anything. I can't hear anything. Oh, maybe hit the play button. Duh. Okay, let me know if you guys can hear this interview. Was Davion a minor? No. I think Davion was 18, right? Let me know if you guys can hear this. No sound? Really? No sound? Why is it every time I try to play this I think this one and the Angelo one you guys can't hear that? Okay, hold please. Hold the phone. Let me just pull up the actual freaking FOIA clip. Yeah, okay. Um What did I say? Oh, Blair, okay. Okay, you might be able to hear this better than now. If not, we'll play it tomorrow, but I think you should be able to hear this now in the Can you hear this?
8/26, 2022 at 14:01. We are at 19431 Spruce Lane. School. Shanksville High School.
4 or 5 years.
4 to 5 years. Where did you guys meet at? School. Shanksville High School.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you talk to him? Or did you talk to him, I should say?
Once a day.
Once a day? Okay. And can you describe your relationship with him?
Friend.
Friend, like close friend or just, hey, how you doing?
One of my best friends.
One of your best friends? Okay. So, being your best friend, did he ever confide in you about his relationship with Mackenzie?
Could you be more specific?
Sure. Did he ever tell you about, they got along? Did they not get along? Did they fight? Did he tell you, oh, she's crazy, or, I'm afraid of being around her? Anything of that sort?
No.
Okay. How long have you known Mackenzie?
Knew Dom probably 3 years.
Okay, through them. Okay. And so your relationship with her is strictly through Dom?
Yeah.
Okay. And when was the last time you heard or spoke to Dom?
The day of.
The day of?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what time, give or take? Doesn't like right morning?
Like a later night, like maybe like I think 10.
10? Okay. Do you know, did he tell you where they were at? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did he, well, can you tell me anything about the conversation? Was it like, hey, dude, come party with us? Or, hey, this night's proving to be a long night? What did he say?
He just said, thanks for kicking it with me today. Like we just kicked it for a little bit.
Okay. No complaining about, today I got into an argument with Mackenzie, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How would you describe their relationship in public? Were they PDA, like if they went out, they all over each other, or did they bicker in front of people?
No, I didn't see any of that.
Okay, so did you see any of what, like the PDA or the bickering?
Neither, really.
Neither. Okay. Did you ever see him fight?
Not like, no, never. I've never seen him fight in front of me.
Argue?
Like, like you be more specific,
like did you ever see them go down each other's throats about things like, you're an a-hole, you're a bitch, this, that kind of thing?
No, nothing like that. No.
Okay. Did Dom ever express any concerns about Mackenzie? Anything about, his safety?
Mm-mm.
Ever complain of her driving?
No, not to me.
Were you ever a passenger in a car she was driving?
Once.
Yeah. Did you feel safe?
I feel like, yeah, there's not a lot of being open here, but I guess when talking to police, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
No.
then I wouldn't have thought anything. I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary.
Okay. No, like crazy driving.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Nothing that made you fear, or wish you didn't get in the car with her.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So
That's actually that's understandable. I just think he didn't really want to talk. Kelly says, and all Dom's personal business. When was this interview? This maybe he didn't think she was guilty here yet. Yeah, but like the texts say otherwise, right? Like we know Kenzie was like screaming at him to like get his friends out of the house and stuff. So I don't know, but maybe he didn't want to tell his business. I guess I can respect that too.
did they ever talk about suicide?
I've
Did-
never heard either of them talk about suicide. No.
Did Dominic ever express to you that Mackenzie, is suicidal, or, and again, I'm just asking to cover all bases here. I'm not saying she is. I don't know. That's what we're trying to find out. If
Mhm.
was she
This is true.
ever expressed suicidal ideation?
We know Dom, I don't think he did text, well, that I've seen. Maybe they're there, but that I've seen about the fighting with Blair. So that's
And
true.
he was like, "Man, can you believe this?"
Is there any way you can give like a specific example or like thing? Like I get it, but
Like the most specific I can tell you is, did he ever express to you concerns that she's suicidal? Did he ever tell you, "Hey Blair, she's
he never told me that she was suicidal. No.
okay"? And he never expressed any type of fear from her.
Mm-mm.
Okay. For some reason, Miss Russo.
Oh, thanks to those of you sending gifts. I can't see him on the StreamYard, but I can see him on the YouTube. I saw Edith and someone else, and then I saw Chuck's gifted, Jay looking, Victoria, Edith. Thank you for the gifts. I can't see who got it. But thank you, Chucks. I appreciate you. That's lame. I have to refresh my screen, I think.
And some of the other kids that I talked to seem to believe that if anybody knew Dominic well, it would be you more than anybody else. Unfortunately, Dominic's not here to tell us what happened in the car between 5 and 5:30. Around that time when we believe the accident happened. So, did you
Luna Beans, welcome to the membership. Thank you, Chucks.
receive any text messages from him after 10 p.m. expressing?
I just received one call.
Oh, Luna Bear, not Luna Bean. Sorry, Luna Bear. I call you Luna Beans, but I love beans, so
I didn't respond.
that's fine.
I was sleeping.
Is it
Luna Beans or Luna Bear?
Is it unusual for him to call you that late?
Yeah, I'd say that's out of the ordinary.
Oh, it is Luna Beans. Okay.
Did and that you don't have to answer that, but can you do you have an opinion as to why maybe he called you? Is he known to drunk dial, having a good time, and you're like, "Hey, come kick it with us," type thing?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, that's fair enough. Did he send you any last text messages?
Wait, he said, I don't know, but in the interview, he said it was unusual. In the one we just read?
Honestly, no.
No.
Just that call.
Just that call.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he leave a voicemail?
Mm-mm. There's a FaceTime.
Oh, FaceTime. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you think I should know about Dominic and Mackenzie's relationship? Anything that would be pertinent? And like I said, we're looking at everything. This could simply just be an accident, but I have to ask the difficult questions. Like, could she have done it on purpose? Even if I don't believe it, we have to ask it. So,
Yeah, I really don't know. I'm being honest. I don't know.
okay. Is there anyone you think I need to talk to?
Wait, am I mistaken? Didn't he go on to the Big Sister Hinge and say that he did think she was capable of it? Or am I misunderstanding? Don't take my word for it. Most people don't tell anybody their partner is abusive. That's true, Joyce Carrot. That's why I said maybe Blair didn't know like the extent of the Barbies, of the text. Not the Barbies. I'm looking at Are You Barbie? We're just looking at the ceiling. That's how I FaceTime everyone. Barbie. I could see Steve threatening to expose Blair's business. I could see that too now. He was labeled as a brother, very good friends. Yes, that's also true, Crystal. Interesting.
Who's Dominic's like best friend? His, the one who would keep the secrets. Can't think of anybody.
I really can't. Yeah.
So who's his group of friends? His close circle of friends. I know you were somebody that was mentioned by at least 3-4 people.
Mainly, like he really is just like close with his family. Like he didn't really like hang with like a lot of people like outside of his family, other than like that Davion and Mackenzie.
Did you know Davion?
And like you and Kyle and all of those friends we hear about in the text messages, right?
I only knew him like I only met him like twice.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Cool guy.
Yeah, you should.
That's what I hear. Has anybody from Mackenzie's side, mom, dad, friends, told you not to talk to me?
No, but she was trying to get a hold of me through Miss Russo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Okay.
Nah, I honestly don't know why.
Okay. Listen, I'm gonna give you my card. I understand talking to cops is not necessarily the people's most favorite thing in the world. Like I said, I'm not Vice. I'm not Narc. I'm not. I'm looking at the crash. But a piece of the big puzzle, if you think of this whole incident as a puzzle, is the people who are close to Dom, and if they knew anything about the relationship, anything that would lead you to believe, like after I leave here, take some time, think about it. Do you ever witness, remember Mackenzie threatening, or, Dom saying, you know what, I don't know who gave her a driver's license, or anything like that. It might be something that's very petty in your opinion, but it could potentially lead to something else. I'm not saying she did anything wrong, at least at this time. We're just trying to figure it out. And the only reason I wanted to talk to you is because at least 4 different people, mentioned your name. So what Dominic did on the side that we as a police department know of has no bearing on me talking to you or talking to any other kids. We're strictly,
Okay, he said what Dominic did.
if you look at that time frame, we're strictly looking at the crash and what could have contributed to it. Okay. A little car fight, a little something where, that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna give you my card. Said this is gonna be nice and quick, but please take the time. You know, people are not wrong when everybody points to you being Dominic's close friend. This is not Law and Order where I'm yelling at you and grilling you, but you know, Dominic's not alive to tell us the story. His mom thinks you're the one who can shed some light. That's a lot of responsibility, and I realize that. Ultimately, I can't compel you to talk.
Ooh.
Nobody's going to compel you to talk. But, you know, supposedly there are rumors that he sent an I love you text message to one of his buddies very, very late in the night.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of rumors going around. And so
that's true.
and so that's what I'm trying to get to.
My one friend Kyle Smith, like he doesn't live here anymore. He lives in Lakewood, but he was a close friend with Dom, and he sent a text message to him saying I love you after he FaceTimed me. Like I don't know the specific time, but we like talked about it. It was like he just sent like 3 texts. I think it was just the FaceTime to me, texted Kyle I love you, texted his dad I love you, texted his mom I love you, and his brother I love you. All around like between like I'd say 2:41 and 3:30. Between those times, like he texted people I love you. Like I don't know those people are the people I'm for sure he did. I don't know if there's anyone else, but those people for sure I know.
Kyle Smith.
We might never know, but like I really am curious about the whole I love you thing. Like, was that a premonition? Dom still maybe knew something was gonna happen, or had she already threatened him at that house? And Rosie and Bubba know. Rosie, go. Quit doing your sit-ups and come talk to us. Okay? Come. Quit doing your booty bands and come. Clear some information up. I don't know. Maybe she can't in case Kenzie's appeal gets approved. Cops knows he was holding back. He said it. He said, I'm not going to compel you to talk.
Okay. See, those are the things that are just odd. You know what I mean? Even if you're super drunk that night or super high, doesn't matter. I mean, maybe you'll throw a 1 or 2, but mom, dad, and brother at almost 3 in the morning is just unusual. You know, right? I mean, would you agree with that?
I do think that is a little weird.
Yeah. So again, it doesn't mean on its own.
I mean, if I'm going to bed, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to bed. I don't know, but it is weird.
I don't know. Do you guys do that? I guess that would be a good question. Do you guys do that? Let me know in the comments and in the chat. I love you are the same time that Paul woke up. Exactly, McBlonlin. That's a good connection you just made there.
Was it unusual for him to say I love you to his friends?
No, like I mean,
So was that part of his like routine? I guess is what I'm trying to figure
if
out.
we were.
Did he routinely tell you
He would tell
when
me
you guys were leaving
like,
each other, I love you?
He wouldn't tell his honestly like his dad and Kyle, which like that's out of the ordinary. But he would say I love you pretty much to everyone he's seen.
See, what's typically odd is if I'm gonna say I love you to my friends, or to my parents, it's never at the same time. It's not in the text message at an odd
you just
time of
going
day.
through the list.
Right. Yeah. You don't. That's
Why I think it matters is because what if Kenzie did threaten him at the house? Like, you're not breaking up with me. Like, if you think you're breaking up with me, like, you'll see what I can do. That kind of type of thing, you know?
that's unusual. But even if he's like hands out the I love yous. If we're hanging out, like, hey, I love you, see you tomorrow. Yeah, cool. But if 3 in the morning, you're testing random people.
It's almost like you're saying goodbye.
Yes, that's exactly what it is without actually saying it. And so this is why I think there's something going on. Okay. So would you be willing to give me Kyle's contact info?
Yeah, I can get it.
Okay.
Wait, why don't you ask Kyle if it's okay?
Yeah, can
Sure.
I ask him?
Yeah,
And then get
ask
back to
him.
you on
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I got my number here. I am gonna look him up. If I'm gonna try to find his phone number through our means. But it's always better when if it's coming through a friend saying, "Hey, cops would like to talk to you about that."
That's a really wild interview. That's only 16 minutes for the best friend. I'm just saying. Like, I would hope my best friend has a lot more to say than that, okay? But respectfully. 16 minutes. I get it though. Like maybe he didn't want to talk to the police. It seemed like Miss Russo had already contacted him. It seemed like maybe something with the Shirillas was going on. Honestly, I did something for my dad last night and I was like, I'll send it to you like later. And he's like, what do you mean later? It's already 10. And I was like, are you going to bed? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. Do you not want me to text you when I'm done? He's like, no, Melly, like you can text me. He's like, but that's late. I'll probably be asleep. And I'm like, okay. I won't text you at 3 in the morning or 1 in the morning when I'm done working so you don't get worried. And he was like, thank you. But he was like, but if something's wrong, please do text me. And I was like, all right, Dad. Like, so I guess everyone's different, but they say the steering wheel was pulled, so maybe Dom grabbed it and Kenzie lost control. Let's get back to the report. That was a very short interview, which is why I just listened to it with you guys. I had listened to it before, but I didn't realize it was that short. So August 27th, I called Metro, spoke with the general manager. The receptionist identified him as Ken. August 29th, Common Pleas Judge John Russo signs the following warrants for Toyota forensic exam and Mackenzie's medical records from August 5th until her discharge. Medical records number 2. Detective Glover and I served the second medical search warrant to Debbie at Metro Health. Okay, I'll skip. We sent to an email he sent to Apple. Okay. I emailed Flanagan's requesting permission to access Davion's cell phone, even though they lacked standing given that he paid for it in the monthly bill. Less than 20 minutes later, Davion's dad says, you have the written permission from both of us to access Davion's cell phone from the time frame you mentioned. Please let us know if there is anything else you need from us, and have a great rest of your day. I like Davion's dad, Mr. Flanagan. I do. Whose mom? Dom's mom, Miss Russo, had been in contact with Blair. Green, I'm exactly with you. Yeah, that makes sense, B12. Like if you have someone obviously on a different time zone, you know. Miss Christine. Meanwhile, women text each other when we get home safely. True, Hokey Pokey. That is true. And I think his mom's interview reveals major stuff. Yes, I want to review that. Again, the true story may come out if MS winds up doing life. Let's hope so. It's like Brian Koberger. Like, do we really think we're ever going to get the truth from Brian Koberger? Even if he is doing life? Sure, he could write a book according to what he wants it to say. And why would we trust them? Hey, Donna. I just want to say that you have covered this case for the best from day one. I don't even think a lot of people were aware of it until the crash. Also, you're beautiful. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate you. You're awesome. I think, yes, it was you who gifted me too on Sunday. I wanted to make sure it was you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Helps keep the lights on. Couldn't Rosie have gone looking for Kenzie if she didn't text when getting home? I don't know. I was different with my friends when partying, really. Like we would never split up. But I don't know, I guess things are different. I forwarded the reply I got from Scott to Strongsville IT director. Okay. Davion's Scott emailed me, Davion's dad. We do not have passwords for his phone. He was intensely private in his dealings with us. However, one of his best friends, Kyle, has a facial unlock on Davion's phone. Okay, so there's Kyle that Dom was texting, and there's Kyle that's Davion's apparently best friend that has a facial unlock on Davion's phone. That's a big deal. I ain't giving facial recognition to anyone except the woman who carried me in her womb for 9 months. You feel me? Period. Where are those interviews on police reports? I'm curious. I think those would have been important too, to see if there was like any communication with them prior to the crash. Okay, next. Search warrant Toyota forensic exam. Forensic inspection on August 29th. Okay. Metro Toyota documents. I arrived at Metro Toyota, the vehicle history, instructions for the safety recall. Document showing the recall was completed on Shirilla's vehicle. I think I have the actual document for the recall, but okay. So the recall affected approximately 227,000 specific 2018 to 2019 Toyota Camry models. It addresses the defect where the vane cap inside the brake booster vacuum pump can prematurely wear or break, resulting in a sudden loss of power braking assist. So there was a recall on something to do with the brakes on her car. Thank you, Kate girl. Hello from Australia. Hey, Australia in the house. What it do, baby boo? We're getting around. We're getting around. Respectfully. Thank you for being here. Hokey Pokey, you might want to tune into the members only tomorrow. I'm curious what you will have to say about this. I'm curious. My daughter and friends all share locations too. Some people won't ever admit to anything unless there's evidence. Does this matter that there was like a recall thing on her Camry regarding the brakes? You let me know. I don't know shit about cars, so I won't even try. But is it concerning? Maybe a little bit. Kathleen from Cuyahoga County Judge Russo's office. That's the third Russo involved in this case. We have Nancy, the judge. And then we have this judge who's signing all these warrants. And we have Miss Russo. Oh no, Hokey Pokey. I'm sad you'll miss it. Upon calling her back, she said Judge Russo wanted to talk to me. Did you call back and document that? I'm curious. Detective Hazoo. Detective Glover informed me that the drug chemistry lab final report. No, really. Like, did you document that? Informed me that the drug chemistry laboratory final board was emailed to him from the CCME's office. The report, which was dated August 26, indicated that the substance net weight was 6.91 grams, probability of 95.45, and the substance was determined to be psilocybin. Judge Russo, who signed all but one of the search warrants for this case, called me. Okay, so he did document. He inquired if I had used the application Burla for the vehicle. Judge Russo provided me the name of U.S. Marshal David for further inquiries. Debbie from the Office of Medical Records emailed me Mackenzie's records. It's a 220-page PDF. The medical records was The second one received from Metro Health. The first report that we read covered July until August 4th. This second report that we're reviewing now covers August 5th until discharge date. Both reports were pursuant to two separate search warrants. On August 19th, 2022, Dr. Lee writes, Mackenzie states she wants to die, but denies any active plans to harm her herself. Feels grief over loss of her boyfriend, Dom, who was the passenger. So she did show remorse and grief in the hospital. Too many Russos in the case. They're not all related. They're not. I knew something was up with the Mackenzie show. You might change your mind tomorrow. I think she meant McCrazy. The expert would have found it. August 19th, Tyler, an occupational therapist, makes the note, patient makes continued statements of depression and why did this happen to me? Both mom and dad acknowledge her feelings and will assist with making patient feel better. Courtney says, replayed the live from last night. Love the documents. Melly. Thank you, Courtney. Appreciate you. I have different opinions about that. August 12th, 2022. Dr. Ray documented the following under the hospital course section. Patient insisting she goes to her boyfriend's funeral on August 7th, threatens to leave AMA or she will kill herself if she's not allowed to go. Multiple attempts to redirect and reason with her were unsuccessful. So she was struggling with something. On August 15th, 2022, Dr. Koshar documented the following in his narrative notes. Patient stated she would be interested to attempt coloring, then declined due to focus on her grief. Patient then became tearful, processing heavy loss and depression since her accident. Patient shared feelings of grief, guilt, and shame. Patient stated she wanted her to die and that it was her fault for killing her boyfriend. So, like in the documentary, respectfully, they make it seem like, oh, she was like, it's my fault for killing him. Like, that's not what it seems like to me here. To me, it seems like she actually had a normal emotional reaction to this while she was in the hospital dealing with it. Now, what she left, how she acted after, that's a different story, right? They're two different events here, two different points in time. I don't appreciate that they're like, oh, she didn't care, she didn't give a shit, there was no grief. Well, there's some. Because unless we're going to call all of these medical professionals liars, which I'm not going to do because I have actually worked in the medical field before, like, I don't think that's cool. And they make it seem like she said, oh, it was my fault, like I did it, And it's like, well, it seems like she was saying like, because of me, he's dead. Like, I want to die too. I don't think she was like, I did it, I killed them, but we weren't there to live in that moment. So that's just my opinion. August 16th, thank you, Chucks, for gifting another membership. Chucks is very nice gifting memberships to everyone, so y'all can make it to the members only tomorrow. It'll be good. We're covering some psychic stuff, some Russo stuff. And that's where we can go and talk about, well, we can talk about whatever here, whenever. Welcome, Tiffany, to the members, but it's just a little bit of a different vibe. August 16th, Dr. Drebin notes, prior to the accident, she was living for the last few months with her boyfriend of 4 years who was killed in the accident along with another friend. Same date and time, Dr. Drebin diagnosed Mackenzie with acute stress reaction and grief. They diagnosed her with this. Crystal, I'll gift some memberships in this live if I have some. I don't know like what YouTube, how I qualify for them, but I might have some. And I'll give some. Hopefully you get one. I think the only reason she cried and broke down is because she got caught. She could be evil and still experience some sort of grief, right? She noted that the following mental health history reports some history of anxiety, had some past counseling, and was on Zoloft for about a year. She did not feel either was helpful, and at this point is firm about not being on psych meds. This is important because they put her on Zoloft, but we talked about this yesterday, being misdiagnosed. I have actually had a very bad situation with these types of medications. I actually had like a really serious situation when they switched my meds when I was like younger. It was really scary and it changed my whole family's life forever because we had never experienced anything like that. So maybe she wasn't on the right meds. Maybe she needed to be. You know what I'm saying? And where the Shirillas fall into place in that, that's another whole separate conversation and questionable. Her not wanting to be on psych meds has me feeling some type of way like she didn't want to be on them. Maybe she had a bad experience. B12 says my man did too. It made me, yeah. I got into a car accident one time and they like put me on meds and then for like PTSD and then like switched them up. And when they switched them up to something, I had a whole full blown blackout. I was not acting like myself. I had to be hospitalized. Like it was real serious. So this whole med thing is absolutely like a thing and it's real. And it's true that people sometimes do have bad reactions regardless of whatever lifestyle. It was really scary. Even my mom to this day says like that was one of the worst days of her life. And I'm like, damn. Detective met with Sergeant to complete. We've worked through a lot of that though. Don't you worry. I'm a very strong believer in therapy and mental health. Snapchat compiled the search warrant, provided 6 files of data. Okay. Engineering report analysis. I emailed APA Troop asking about the disposition of the Toyota. In short, I informed him about the forensic exam. August 31st, I ran the plate. I emailed the Flanagans wanting to know if they were able to make contact with Kyle, who is Davion's best friend and has access to Davion's phone. Hey, Songbits. Good to see you, love. I'm on Paxil 10 years ago. They said, oh, just cut the down for a D-days and go off, and you got to wean off or it can F you up. Yeah, Kelly. Glad you're feeling better now. Oh, yeah, B12. This was like at least 10 years ago or maybe close to 10 years. It's been a long time, but I have some background to sit up here and talk about this kind of stuff. Zoloft is one of the 3 most common psych meds psychiatrists try first within the new clients. Yeah, that's true, Hokie. Yeah, it's been a while. No, I appreciate you guys. Don't be worried. That was when I was like way younger too. So, but I'm just saying I have an experience with it. This is what Mr. Flanagan replied. His parents are discussing it with him today, but much to our disappointment, they were hesitant to involve their son and didn't want to disrespect Davion's privacy in their initial talk with us. We obviously advocated for our son and reassured them that you were only looking for evidence that would help clarify the events that happened prior to the crash. We're hopeful that they will change their mind and do the right thing, but it certainly can't be counted on at this point. We'll definitely keep you updated when we hear back from them. They didn't want to involve Kyle in an investigation. Why? Okay, hesitant. They didn't want to disrespect Davion's privacy. I called Bubba. He did not answer. Okay. I returned the following search warrants that were signed to Mackenzie's Snapchat, Toyota forensic examination, and Mackenzie's medical records from August 5th. Miss Flanagan sent me 4 emails containing passcodes that might enable me to access Davion's cell phone. Davion's dad emailed me letting me know that Kyle's father contacted him to let him know that he will attempt to access Davion's phone. Okay, so they changed their mind. That's probably how they got access to it then. Using the passcode provided by Miss Flanagan in her email dated August 31st, I was able to access Davion's cell phone. September 2nd, attorney Jim McDonald left me a voicemail stating he was representing Shirilla and wanted to discuss this case. September 5th, data from, I don't know why I started, from Davion's phone. I reviewed contents from Davion's phone in the Excel spreadsheet prepared by David pursuant to the content or consent to search Davion. I noticed under the searched items tab that on July 30th at approximately 12:15 p.m. Wait. 12:15 p.m. According Kenzie and Dom and Davion arrived around midnight. So it says a person using Davion's cell phone typed the following. How long does it take for acid to kick in? So there was a search on Davion's phone about acid, which we've been questioned about what actually happened that night. Someone, a person using Davion's phone. So they don't believe it was Davion. Wait, what? I had missed this part. Holy balls. Like balls. What? Who? Who was using Davion's phone? Who would do such a thing other than maybe someone that would show up back up to a crash scene at 6 a.m.? I don't know. This is effing weird. This is weird. I missed this the first time around. They cannot legally say who was using Davion's phone. Why? This is like the Karen Reed case in the Google searches. Not exactly like it, but you know what I'm saying. They've all tripped, so why look that up? This was the night, July 30th. The night of the crash. Oh, wow. Because it says the spreadsheet. Okay, so it says, wait, this is wild. It says a PDF of Davion's photo of 11,000 pages. You want to know how many are in the FOIA? Like 100. Yeah. There's not a lot, and there's 9 files in the FOIA release of Davion's. Where's the other 10,000 pages? So it's that afternoon. Okay, but still, why would they say a person if it's Davion's phone? It says 11,000 pages. I will show you guys the Davion file if you want. My interest is in reviewing the content stem from the reports that he was texting with someone at approximately 5:30 hours in the morning just before the crash. It was brought to my attention that Davion liked to record events and people around him. I was curious to know whether he recorded anything from inside the Toyota. So they were definitely planning on doing or taking acid that night. He had other people unlock code because there's no proof it was Davion. Exactly, prefer the truth. If they can pinpoint the time the search was done. As I recall, acid lasts about 5 to 7 hours, and people usually do something to come down. I've never I wouldn't know anything about that, respectfully. When I was young, we were just drinking it up, baby. It was them Four Locos and them weed plants. So it was very different time, respectfully. His parents authorized the phone reviews. Who initiated the seals? Where's those 11,000 pages, baby? Because listen, I'm going right back into Davion's file right now. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to show you. So you can see. Well, as long as I don't like give my personal information out. Hold, please. Yeah, I can show you. What is in the files of Davion's, or how many things there are in Davion's file. Because it's definitely not 11,000. I will tell you that for sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I can show you. Okay, look. This is what's in his file. You see? That's not a lot. There's 2 passcode search warrants. This will review maybe tomorrow. There's a couple pictures and stuff, but there's not 11,000 things here, guys. Like, respectfully. There's not. These are what was released in the FOIA. So whatever document Detective Hazoo is here, the phone was compromised of 11,000 pages. We don't have all of those pages. And maybe it wasn't relevant, but still. I would like to know why we didn't get full access to those. Obviously, Kayla says obviously someone doesn't want something else out, or they wouldn't have sealed those. Yeah, I think there's a mistake. I don't think they mean PM. I think they mean PM like at the nighttime. I really do. Because it says, where were we? Because it goes from 12:15 to 5:30 in the morning. My interest in reviewing the content stemmed from the reports that he was texting with someone at approximately that morning of the crash. I was curious to know whether that he recorded anything. These are the following observations. Davion did not receive any phone calls between July 30th and 1851 hours and July 30th, 0811 hours. The last phone call he received and answered prior to the crash was from his sister Divine on July 30th at approximately 1816 hours. I didn't know that she had called him the day of. According to Mr. and Mrs. Flanagan, when Divine called Davion, she and her family were shopping in North Carolina and wanted to know what to get him. Divine called Davion at 1851 hours. The status of that call, according to Davion's phone log, was listed as missed. The last instant message he received was on July 31st at 5:01 p.m. The content of the message and the owner of the phone number remain unknown as they have no bearing on the investigation. Here's like a Snapchat, I think, from his sister. She says, yeah, Davion, what are you doing? She says, chilling in the mountains, you feel me? Bruh, hold up. This shit is so effing hard. She sends a picture of the landscape. Davion says, damn, WTF, that go crazy. Sister says, oh, on God, bruh, we walked like 2 hours in the thunderstorm in the dark in the middle of the park. Cole said he saw a mountain lion. And then Davion didn't respond. Wait, this says, yeah, PM. Then this person says, I'ma miss you, dude. No recordings from the party at Paul's house on July 30th were present. No recordings from inside the Toyota were present. The last known time Davion reportedly used his cell phone was on July 31st at approximately 5:30 in the morning, shortly before the crash. Based on a screenshot provided by his friend Tyler on August 2nd, Davion exchanged messages with Croy using social media application Snapchat. The exchange was initiated by Davion at 04:05 hours. On August 11th at 14:37 hours, Detective Glover interviewed Croy. Regarding the interview, document can be found under witnesses. Okay, we've seen that. They were using Snap and all that. It's hard to believe a little bit. Maybe it was irrelevant, Melly. Maybe, abuelita. Maybe both sides agreed it has no bearing. Would it be different if she would have had a jury trial and all of it came in? I don't know. Not a lawyer in Ohio. The physical trip from the acid lasts 6 to 15 hours, but it's metabolized very quickly by the body. Standard tests can detect it. And specialized tests only capture it for varying durations. Maybe, I don't know. September 6, 2022, APA troop informed me that per Mackenzie's attorney, she will not be giving a statement. September 7th, I called Tyler, he did not answer. I called Bubba, he did not answer again. September 9th, Detective Glover and I met with APA troop and his supervisor. We briefed him on the status of the investigation. Detective Glover and I called Mr. Flanagan. I informed him of my intent to search all of Davion's cell phone content. Flanagan did not object. In fact, he said he and his wife support our efforts to uncover the truth about the crash. Flanagan mentioned that his wife, Jamie, had heard from Strongsville high school kids that Dominic was known to traffic drugs and guns. So the Flanagans shared that with the police. We explained to them that separate investigation could be opened at the conclusion of the investigation. Interesting. Separate investigation into Dom and his dealings. Less would come in if it were a jury trial. Frank, Dominic's dad, called me. He identified himself as Dominic's father. He asked about the status of the investigation. I told him it was still in progress. He wanted to know when it would be complete, and I told him I could not give him an answer. I emailed Mark. His assistant replied to me thereafter, knowing that she was finalizing the report. Toyota Camry moved to SPD. The transfer from the Toyota from the center towing impound to the Strongsville Police Department, Vanek photographed the vehicle and used the department's drone to video record the condition before and after the transfer. They emailed me the PDF containing the Toyota's forensic inspection. The 7-page report was digitally signed after an inspection on the vehicle on August 3rd. In short, it opined at the bottom of page 6 that although the examination of the vehicle revealed impact induced damage to the steering, suspension, braking system, engine, and throttle systems, no evidence of fault or defect was found that they may have contributed or caused or contributed to the inability to control the vehicle. Sergeant concluded that the Toyota was free of defect at the time of the event and showed no evidence of malfunction causing or contributing to the event. It is worthy to note that on page 5 of the report, it is addressed the presence of Mackenzie's slipper on the accelerator pedal. He noted that the slipper in of itself would not have resulted in any type of unwanted throttle application. The slipper was solely stuck by the deformation of the floorboard that surrounded the accelerator assembly as a result of the impact event. On page 1, I noticed a minor error where the sergeant Mark documented that the crash had occurred on July 21st instead of July 31st. Consequently, on September 29th, I emailed Sergeant's assistant and requested that they correct the error. September 19th. Text messages between Miss Russo and Mackenzie. The following stood out. Oh, here we go. I have this pulled up too separately. Yeah. Courtney. Yeah. Green Eyed, we might have to review that one too. There's more to this whole thing. Yeah, that's big. The Flanagans appear to be the only ones that wanted the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Nah, there's more to it, Lindsay Bay. I'll show you tomorrow. September 23rd, 2020, Russo says, just let that shit go for now. Lay low. It will be all right. So these are text messages from 2020. December 28th, Mackenzie says, Dom is saying he wants to hurt himself. Russo says he is all right and in a brat mode. Hit his head on the wall. January 2nd, 2021, Miss Russo says, you need me to come here because I can't leave Dom. Because I can't leave because Dom now shoved a towel in Tom's throat. Dom shoved a towel in Tom's throat. How do you shove a towel in someone's throat unless it's like aggressive? Listen, if you try to shove something down my throat, you get knocked out. Respectfully. Tom was a cat. Oh, it was It was the cat? What? Really? Why can't I remember that? What? The cat? Huh. What? Okay. I need a drink at this point. Like, it's early here, but it's 5:00 somewhere, ain't it? I think I really do need one. Hold, please. I might have to go get one. Dude, I have a problem with that. I do. January 30th, 2021, Mackenzie says, I was feeling all weird and having a lot of anxiety from withdrawal. And I just wanted to leave my friends and I was begging him to get me and he didn't get me. She's texting Dom's mom this. January 30th, again, she says, Dom is texting me being really crazy, so please keep an eye on him. I'm worried AF. Do you believe Kenzie? Yeah, I do. And here's where my thought process comes from. because I have been in a very toxic relationship before, and I know sometimes it's easy to see things through my eyes only. You know what I'm saying? And she's texting her concerned. She's like, please keep an eye on him. Like, that part is not like she's being a jealous ass crazy bitch. That part is like she's concerned because she's not with him. We have, yes, green eyed. You have, green eyed is right. We have covered the text messages where he banged his head. Like, if she was a cold hearted murder, wouldn't she just let him bang his head? Is that like, is that? This is in 2021 though. Abuelita says she's trying to set the scene. It's 2021. I don't even think they know what's going to happen in 2022. Who is Tom? I guess the cat. Then again, on July 31st, Mackenzie says, I didn't mean to make him flip out. I just can't take him yelling at me all night and day. Russo says, I know you should have just hugged him. Kenzie says, I just couldn't. He's been too mean and I couldn't take it all. All I did was try to help him. Miss Russo says, he's out of control, hates Chris. I feel so bad. This is like where we're at in the text messages right now. Oh no, we're in July. We'll be resuming with those on Sunday. And these are January. Kenzie says, yeah, I tell him all the time he just needs to go get some help, but he never listens. Miss Russo says, me too. So we know that both parents on both sides knew exactly what was going on in this toxic relationship. And respectfully, when Miss Russo says in her interview that she had only known how toxic it was for 6 months, that's not true because this is going back to 2 years, 2020. So everyone knew how toxic this relationship was. Mackenzie says he would be so much happier. Mr. Russo says, I'm going to take him to get his aluminum levels checked. I guess if you did your body of them, it cures depression and that stuff. Calling Monday. Mackenzie says, oh my God, good. He really needs some help. I try really hard to help him as much as I can, but most of the time it's not enough. It really hurts me to see him like this, and he acts like I want him to feel this way. March 5th of 2022. Mr. Russo says, hey, just go home, avoid any conflict. Please, you can call me. Kenzie says, I'm just waiting to talk to him. Mr. Russo says, they just left. It's going to be a while. You should respect his space while he's gone. I asked you to leave. You should have respect and leave. Kenzie says, he's home now. July 2nd, 2022. Mr. Russo says, don't fight. So this was a month of the crash. Don't fight. Just leave. Take a break. Mackenzie says, I already left. Dom needs some therapy. He's so mean. What I truly think is like, thank you. Kay says, I appreciate you calling out both sides now, Melly, for real. Well, it's not even that. It's just that like this is what's in the investigative document, you know? And I think we can both say here that we don't know to what extent everyone knew. We know because we've read the text messages, right? But those are just some of the text messages. We don't even have the full thread. So I can recognize that sometimes in DV relationships, we don't know everything. But I can also recognize that Ms. Rousseau in that interview said she had only known it was toxic or got super bad in the last 6 months. But then again, it goes to prove that a lot of more people were aware of what was going on. To what extent? Probably not, but still. 7 so a day later, Kenzie says, "Dom is threatening to take me to civil court. I tried really hard to work everything out, but he's just being mean to me and I don't know what to do now. He's threatening my mom." So this is the month where Rosie and Bubba are like, "They weren't gonna break up. No." And Steve is like, "No, they weren't breaking up. They weren't breaking up. They were already on and off." And you're seeing it right here on July 3rd of 2022. They were having issues. They were having issues the month of the crash. Kenzie says, "He didn't even text me. He texted my mom that he's taking her to civil court after she helped him." Russo said, "He's just blowing off steam." Kenzie says, "I left after he told me we should just talk later, and now he threatened my mom. So I think he's actually done with me this time." "I don't know," she says. I do think Kenzie's manipulative. I did see that. Someone said, "But remember, she's manipulative." I'm not knocking that she's not. We know Kenzie was evil and she was abusing him, whether it was emotionally or mentally. Okay, that is just those are just cold hard facts. She owed him money, he was done. Maybe. Maybe the money thing and the rug thing, you know? Thank you, Lakeside. I appreciate you for the super sticker. Thank you, thank you, thank you for supporting. Dinuzo, you better chill out. It says, "I ain't begging for no membership." Well, when I give some, hopefully those that want it get it. Okay, Kayla. Hopefully you get it. Civil court for what? I don't know. I don't decide who gives some. Okay, so it says Miss Russo says he's just blowing off steam. Kenzie says, "I think he's actually done with me." Russo says, "Well, you should have asked before ordering." Kenzie says, "I did. He gave me money to put on my card." So that was on July 3rd. Then July 17th, Kenzie says, "Can you come get me?" Okay, this is the crash or the threat before the crash. My bad. Mackenzie says, "Can you come get me? Dom just grabbed my steering wheel on the highway, trying to spin out my car and hurt me. I'm scared to drive because it's raining, so I just need him to get picked up." She says, "If he doesn't get out of my car, I'm calling my dad, so please tell him to get out." Miss Russo says, "Hench is on his way. Calm down for now, please." So put this in your beautiful little brains for tomorrow's live, okay? This detail here. Pencil in on it. We're gonna touch on this tomorrow. Kenzie says, "To be honest, I can't calm down when he just tried to end my life. Then he lied to you about it." Russo says, "I'm just trying to diffuse for now. I'm not mad at anyone." Mackenzie says, "I don't think he's capable of that when he keeps telling me to shut up and duct tape my mouth." Kenzie says, "I don't feel safe. He's also threatening to blackmail me to my mom." Blackmail you? How, Kenzie? Like, yeah, you were doing feet sex, but like, I feel like Natalie already knew about this or no? And even if Dom told Natalie, Natalie would probably be like, "Oh my God, I want to do it too." Like that would be Natalie's reaction, I think. Kenzie says he's also threatening to blackmail me to my mom. He's not getting out. Peaches is right. It is illegal. It is. Respectfully, I think it is. Wait, let me look it up. I'm just looking at for specifically for Ohio. I already know the answer. Yes, it is entirely illegal in Ohio under Ohio Revised Code 2907.25. Engaging and offering to engage in activity for compensation, which includes money, goods, or services, is a criminal offense. Kenzie says he's also threatening to blackmail me to my mom. He's not getting out. He also blocked me, so I can't pick up any of my belongings at his house. I hope this is a learning experience for him on what not to do to women because I really don't think he knows how to treat them all. Miss Russo says, stop the fighting and stop lying. When he gets his things, you can get yours. Kenzie says, first of all, I am not lying about anything. Maybe you shouldn't take his words so seriously. You don't know how he treats me behind closed doors. It's never okay to try to end somebody's life or put their hands on people. Miss Russo says, no one should touch anyone, no fighting for sure in the car. He never put his hands on you. Mackenzie says, you need to tell him that. He tried to end my life today and told me, do you want to die? Mackenzie says, I almost hit the wall and I could have died. Miss Russo says, and you haven't blackmailed him with the cops 100 times? This is true. This is absolutely true. Kenzie did manipulate Dom with blackmailing and all that grape stuff, rug stuff, dealing stuff. Okay. But then Miss Russo here, it's fair game. Then she knew about it. She knew about the businesses that Dom was doing. And she knew that Kenzie had blackmailed him before. Does that matter? Yes, it does when we judge Steve so harshly. In the Shirillas. Let's be fair here. Let's be for real. For like 1 second. I called I think I said this wrong last time, Elwira police to inquire about the call Natalie Shirilla made. Mackenzie had mentioned in a text message to Christine Russo on August 14th at 16:15 hours that her mother called the police. Upon Googling, the only result indicated is a misspelling of the name. I also searched for any reports filed by Natalie Shirilla using the Ohio Law Enforcement Network and did not see any. Natalie never called to file any reports. September 20th, 2022. Using location data extracted from Mackenzie's phone, I searched whether her phone had registered in the area of Alameda Drive. I find out her phone, okay, so this is where they said she drove the route. I found out her phone was on Alameda Drive 7 times, within the last time being on July 28th, 2022 at 17:42 hours. This I don't think is like legitimate. Because we've heard multiple, I have to sneeze, contradicting reports on it was a cut through, it wasn't a cut through. Rosie and Bubba were familiar, la la la. I don't think it's weird that she drove that. I really don't. I mean, I drive the same routes all the time. Sometimes I refuse to cut down on traffic to drive the same route. So I don't know about that unless she was at that building specifically, then it would be different. But it was just in the area. If I'm not mistaken, it says here in the area. And here's the interview with Miss Russo. Dom's mother came to the police station by herself for the interview. The primary purpose of the interview was to shed light on the relationship between her deceased son and his girlfriend. Detective Glover and I conducted the interview in one of the interview rooms in the lobby. After updating her on the status of the investigation, I explained to her that the interview would be audio recorded on my body camera. She did not object. I began the interview by revisiting a statement made by Russo immediately after the crash where she did not believe The cause of the crash had to do with impairment. Russo stated that a few days before this interview, she asked Mackenzie why they hadn't called someone to pick them up instead of driving, and she told her that they weren't fucked up at the time of the crash. The conversation between the two happened at the cemetery and was not recorded. So Kenzie told her, I was driving because I wasn't effed up. Mm. Yeah, agreed. I agree. It's hidden from the public, not evidence. I've never met a mother yet thinks her son's partner is a good choice. That's true, Allison. So maybe it was a common route for them. I think so. My question is, who still smokes cigs in home after 1995? I don't know. Who does? Does somebody? Courtney, you remember? Wait. How how did that happen? Did you just become a member right now? She's manipulating here. The stuff they sealed, that isn't right. It's hiding evidence. Yep. So 7 times within that time frame. So it says 7 times. No, we don't know the time frame. And this is why I said this is important, because we don't know the time frame. The last time she was seen there was on 7/28. But we don't know the time frame. What if her car had been there months before? Like, that is something I think that they missed on this investigation that I think is critical. So, I think that's important to note that it wasn't, we don't know. We don't know when those 7 times were, and I'm wondering why we couldn't get a printout of that information. If they were able to pinpoint it on 7/28 longitude and latitude, I'm assuming they could have done it those other 6 times. Why they didn't, or maybe if they did and it's not provided, I don't know. Thank you, Ja Janisha? Did I say that right? I hope I did. Welcome to memberships. I appreciate you. Not everyone does outside now, says Green. Okay, let's see. So it says, I began the interview by, okay, saying that they weren't effed up. Okay, so Kenzie told her that at the cemetery. Interesting. Russo brought up rumors that were being circulated among Dominic and Mackenzie's friend regarding what had happened at the Paul residence. We did not delve into the specifics of what was being said. During the conversation, however, Ms. Russo mentioned that Dominic's best friend Blair, who I interviewed on August 26, had told her that I was inquiring whether the 3 occupants of the vehicle had made a pact to commit S together. I clarified to Russo that I only asked Blair whether Dominic had ever confided in him about Mackenzie, specifically whether Dominic was ever concerned about his safety as a result of his relationship with Mackenzie, whether it was from her driving or homicidal ideations. These questions were necessary given the information provided by Tyler's mother about Mackenzie threatening the life of her son while they were dating. I sought cooperation to confirm or dispel whether Mackenzie was S or homicidal, or whether Dom was concerned for his safety. Blair was unable to answer the question. I mentioned that Dominic had never discussed this topic with him. Russo suggested I talk to her son Angelo. According to her, Dominic had confided in him about his relationship with Mackenzie. Russo further stated that Mackenzie constantly threatened Dominic. She mentioned the incident from a week before where Mackenzie threatened to crash the car she was driving while Dominic was with her. Text messages between Christine and Mackenzie exist about the incident. The messages took place on July 17, 2022 at approximately 12:45 hours. Mackenzie texted Russo saying, "Can you just come get Dom? He grabbed my steering wheel, okay, trying to spin out my car and hurt me." Russo explained that during the incident, she was on the phone with Dominic, who was calm, thus contradicting what Mackenzie was telling her about him being out of control. Dominic was described by his mother as not having been too involved with social media or even text messages. She explained that he preferred calling people directly to talk. She also described him as a safe driver. I asked Russo to describe Dominic and Mackenzie's relationship. She said Dominic was private about his arguments with Mackenzie, but Angela told her Mackenzie would threaten Dominic all the time. Russo described Mackenzie as wanting everything to be about her. She explained that Dominic continuously catered to her. Russo told us Mackenzie has stayed in touch with her since the crash. Russo admitted to having maintained the relationship partly because Mackenzie was still sharing photographs, videos, and audio recordings of Dominic. According to her, Mackenzie claims to know nothing and remembers nothing about the events that led to the crash. When asked about where Mackenzie had been living for the past 4 months, Russo stated Mackenzie had been begging her to come over to her house, meaning Dom's house. Russo explained that although Dominic slept in the house next door with Mackenzie, he maintained his bedroom in his mother's house. Russo also explained that the reason for this arrangement had to do with the strained relationship between Dominic and his older brother, Chris. I have some information on this for tomorrow. It is worthy to note that Christine owns both properties. Next, I asked Russo for consent to search Dominic's cell phone, which at the time was in police custody. Russo denied consent to search the cell phone, citing confidential communication. Wait. Russo denied consent to search the cell phone, citing confidential communication, attorney-client privileged communication with Dominic. So she was Dom's attorney, but his mom too? I thought that wasn't allowed. Who knows? I explained to Russo that during the interview with Blair, he revealed that Dominic had tried to call him via FaceTime around 0300 hours, and that Dominic texted, "I love you" to at least one friend and family members. Russo volunteered to obtain the call log and text messages log from Dom's cell phone. Russo stated that Dominic was more of a caller than he was a texter. Yeah, you read that right, Melly. I thought that's not possible. Yes, Jules said, because she'd have been someone else's attorney then. All right, I'm glad you all are catching on. Because I thought I was nuts. It's under the trust of the mom and her being a lawyer. But that has nothing to do with what does Mackenzie and Dom's relationship have to do with her business and her being a lawyer? She actually is a public defender, if I'm not mistaken. Still conflict of interest. Yeah. Russo explained her desire to obtain Dominic's phone, citing his online investments, business accounts, and cryptocurrency accounts, which are only accessible via the respective applications installed on his cell phone. According to Russo, Dominic was in the music recording business. I told Russo that I will convey her request to obtain Dominic's phone to APA Troop to decide. You're not nuts, Melly. I thought Tahasha, there's a whole thing behind that. Dom had a case going on, so he could have had things going on his phone with his lawyer. That's a good point. I had a big aha when my friend told me that many in Strongsville are weary of the Russos, even more so lately, says Hokey Pokey. Let's move on. I inquired about Dominic's mental health given information obtained from text messages between Russo and Mackenzie, where Mackenzie urged Russo to have Dominic visit a mental health specialist. Russo denied that Dominic suffered from depression. She explained that after an incident involving his brother Chris, the court mandated that Dominic submit to a mental health evaluation and drug screening. Russo said that she was in possession of the report in which he was not diagnosed with any mental health issues. She confirmed he was never suicidal, and anytime the mention of suicide was brought up, it was done by Mackenzie. That's a lie. That's not true. That's not true. We've read this in the text messages. Dom would call it tweaking out. He would break stuff. He would threaten to KMS. This was, and I'm not making this up. This is just cold hard facts in the text messages. We've all seen it. We've all seen this. Kenzie and Dom talked about S more than anyone I know. She also added that Dominic was issued a medical marijuana card because of his ankle injury. I asked Russo about a text message exchange with Mackenzie dated July 17, 2022 at approximately 12:45 hours. Mackenzie asked Russo to pick up Dominic from her car, which was stopped at the side of an unknown highway. Unknown highway? But Hench went there. What do you mean unknown highway? You're from there. You know what highway. Unknown highway? Mackenzie claimed Dominic had grabbed her steering wheel in an attempt to spin out the car and hurt her. Russo explained that Mackenzie always blamed Dominic for whatever issues were going on between them. She further added that Dominic called her and calmly asked her to come pick him up because Kenzie's being crazy. She's threatening to crash the car on the highway. Hench picked up Dominic that day. He was also identified by Russo as a friend of Dominic. I have something to say. In summary, Russo doubted the possibility that Dominic and Mackenzie would have made a suicide pact with Davion in the vehicle. She opined that the OVI was unlikely the cause of the crash. That's true, Melly. He would say it, she would say it, but it seems like in the last year he was chilling out on all of that or trying to. Yeah, we're in 2021 right now and it's pretty bad. So I do think that at some point Dom realized like, okay, I definitely need to leave her. Mom is protecting her son. I think she's young and it's possible that in 15 years she could change. Also, psych meds are awful for teenagers. I can vouch for that. All the phones are on the same plan. It's 71 near the Bagley exit. Okay, Hokey Pokey. See, even Hokey Pokey knows. She's effed up. I'm telling you, says Joe Licken. Lawyers can legally represent a family member, even though it rarely happens as a conflict of interest. Last time I dealt with any lawyers, yeah, I was told it was family is a conflict of interest. And I've had some stuff. I'm sure Christine isn't lying. I highly doubt Dom ever told his mom he was S. His mom wouldn't have read their text messages. Y'all are funny. This is giving me an effing headache, says Monica. However, we're not Kenzie fans. I just think she's super young and immature, but deserves the time she got and more if she doesn't change. I need to catch up on Melly's text reading. Her voice is too calming. I lose my place. Really? I thought I was wild. Those meds also block emotions. Okay. Let's do a little bit of reading. Can't go on for too much longer because I'm going to go up on ATS panel tonight. Deanna emailed me a photo of Mackenzie. This is September 25th. Deanna emailed me a photo of Mackenzie attending a party in Cleveland. Deanna is Tyler, Kenzie's ex-boyfriend's mom, which seems to have a lot to say here. Kind of bugs me because I'm like, I don't even think they dated for that long, but okay. She wrote Saturday, September 17th. I could be wrong. Mackenzie partying at the Kid Cudi Festival in the flats at Jacobs Pavilion at Nautica. This is just upsetting. 49 days after killing 2 people she loved and had to make it downtown to party. This is a clip of Kenzie at the concert, which we have seen, which is wild. Yes, it is wild that she's at a concert in a top that her mom sewed together. That sounds good, Evie. Yeah, Alexa. Oh, the Kid Cudi concert. I know. Oh, thank you, Kayla. September 26th, the next day. I called Foss Knight to follow up on the email she sent upon requesting an in-person interview. Okay, he forwarded the email to APA Troop. Most notably, I saw his opinion about returning Davion and Dom's cell phone to the families since they have requested them. I called Dominic's brother, Angelo, to schedule an interview with him. He did not answer. I left a voicemail requesting a call back. September 27th, 2022, he reached out to Angelo again, did not call back. Tyler, who provided the message that Davion sent him on July 31st, called, okay, to give information. On September 28th, he called Angelo again, did not answer. Then finally, Angelo agreed to come to the police on September 29th, 2022. The church identified incident. I began reviewing contents of Shirla's Snapchat account, which we obtained pursuant to a search warrant. Detective Glover first reviewed the content and selected what he deemed pertinent to our investigation of the crash for me to review. During his search, he came upon a photographic and video recordings of Mackenzie and Dominic inside the abandoned church. This I wanna go through this file tomorrow because there's some pictures and videos. And one of the photographs, I zoomed in on a place card at the bottom of the mirror with two subjects used for their selfie, which Kenzie lied about this incident because she said, I stayed in the car. No, you didn't. This is you here in the picture. During his search, he came upon recordings of Mackenzie and Dom inside the abandoned church. And they searched the first four words of the inscription, the Columbia Church of God, in Google and located an abandoned church. Google Maps showed photos depicting for sale signs in front of the church. Detective Glover and I drove to the church to confirm whether it was the one from Snapchat videos. Upon arrival, it became immediately apparent that the church we were looking at was from the recordings. All the recordings from the suspected breaking and entering were captured on Shirla's Snapchat on July 19th. I called the phone number for the entity, which was listed for sale. The owner, Michael, answered. He confirmed having had multiple break-ins at the church. He said the property has been for sale for the past 5 years. I explained to him the case I was investigating and asked if he would permit us to photograph the scene. Michael said the owner of the building, Richard, will not mind. Prior us to being able to confirm, the caller dropped due to poor cell phone reception. Upon calling Michael back, all calls went to voicemail. Sounds like Michael didn't want to answer. In the parking lot of the church was a Ford F-150 in silver color. Dispatch advised the plate was not on file. Next to the truck was a dilapidated RV. Evidence of breaking and entering and criminal mischief was seen on the exterior of the structure. Signs of forced entry were noticeable on the door. The windows that appeared to be broken on the Snapchat were now boarded up. Christine Russo called Detective Glover to let him know she will be accompanying her son Angelo to the interview. This, I think, is not okay. I don't think Miss Russo should have been allowed in the interview with Angelo because we can hear on the interview that she controls that interview and what is being said. I don't think the mother should have been allowed unless, I guess, because he's a minor, but like that is a conflict to me for some reason. I don't know why I feel that way. Kenzie loved breaking into abandoned places. She was obsessed with it. I'm missing it. I could not drive a car in accident. Oh, Kenzie lied about a lot. That's why I don't trust what she says in the text. She said it was in the car with her mom. Yeah, Angelo is older than Dom, so he would have been of age. Nah, that I'm not okay with. I will flat out say that in my opinion only. The windows appeared. Okay. Lorain County Sheriff's Office. I called the Lorain County Sheriff. Okay. Email me the report. September 29th, John J. Russo signed a search warrant for Davion's Snapchat. Based on the information received from Tyler and given the lack of recordings on Davion's cell phone, it became evident that Davion recorded everything. That if Davion recorded everything, it would likely be on his Snapchat. I emailed Snapchat's law enforcement portal a PDF of the search warrant for Davion's account. Moments later, I received an automated reply from Snapchat providing the submission. They later emailed me an obligation for user disclosure. Okay, so this is just him trying to get in contact with the people of the church. I called the national business broker. This time he answered. I explained to him I wanted to photograph the inside of the church. Okay, so they were trying to get in. Interview with Angelo Russo, Dominic's brother. Angelo was interviewed because of information provided by Christine during her interview about his intimate knowledge of Mackenzie and Dominic's relationship. The interview was conducted in the prosecutor's conference room and was audio taped. I do have that in my videos tab. I explained to Angelo that I was interested in what he knew about Mackenzie and Dominic's relationship. Angelo began by confirming that he had known Mackenzie since she was in 8th or 9th grade, which was around the same time she met Dominic. Angela describes being close to Mackenzie in the early years of her relationship with Dominic. He said she would talk to him like a big brother about self-esteem issues she was having and about relationships with Dominic, particularly about him wanting to break up with her. Angelo mentioned how Mackenzie would act crazy when she suspected Dominic of being unfaithful to her. He further explained that when issues in Dominic and Mackenzie's relationship arose, things did not take a healthy course. Over time, Angelo's relationship with Mackenzie weakened and eventually ended because she was selfish. Yes, you can have people in the interrogation room. Okay. See, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know, like, the actual. Oh, okay. It's absolutely fine. That's cool. I didn't know. But he was old enough. I do the exact same thing. Well, because she's an attorney. I don't think it would matter his family members giving an interview. Yeah. I don't think they spoke to Kenzie without her parents either. Yeah, I don't think so. Um, I asked Angelo to explain what he meant when he described Mackenzie as crazy. He said that Mackenzie would call Dominic and threaten to unalive herself if Dominic broke up with her. Angelo further explained that both Mackenzie and Dominic had separately shared this information with him. He said although Dominic cared for Mackenzie, he was tired of her controlling and selfish personality, which led him wanting to end the relationship. Angelo added that anytime Dominic would attempt to end the relationship, Mackenzie would make threats. Angelo admitted that it has been a while since Mackenzie threatened to unalive herself. He attributed this fact that he had blocked her on Snapchat and even blocked her cell phone number. Damn, Angelo had her blocked. When asked where Mackenzie had been living for the past 6 months, Angelo said he had seen her at Dominic's house almost every night. Although Angelo never directly asked Dominic whether Mackenzie was living with him, he confirmed having seen her sleep on his couch, even when Dominic, Angelo, and their friend Blair would be recording music in the house. He further added that Mackenzie spent more time at Dominic's house than she did at her own, especially at night. He further confirmed that Mackenzie had property, clothes, and makeup at Dominic's house. Christine Russo then added, not only did Mackenzie have clothes at Dominic's house, she also had clothes at Christine's house. In fact, Christine confirmed having washed some of Mackenzie's clothes before Dominic moved next door. Russo added that Mackenzie left shoes in the living room and purses in the back room. During the interview, Angelo mentioned that before the crash, he had been in direct contact with Natalie Shirilla about some of Mackenzie's problem. He mentioned an incident about contacting Natalie's regarding Mackenzie's antidepressant prescription medication. According to Angelo, Mackenzie stopped taking her antidepressants, which had been prescribed since middle school. Mackenzie reportedly told Angelo that the pills made her feel worse, which is the reason she stopped taking them. This explains like her sleeping and all of that. Like, remember her sleeping issues and all of that? When Angelo brought the issue to Natalie's attention, he described her attitude as being, don't tell me how to raise my daughter. Next, I inquired whether Dominic confided in Angelo by expressing any concerns for his safety. Angelo said that Dominic had attempted to break up with Mackenzie multiple times in July of 2022. He narrated a story from the month before the crash whereby Mackenzie assaulted Dominic while Dominic was driving on some highway. According to Angelo, Dominic stopped his car at the side of the highway and had someone else pick them up because he was worried Mackenzie was going to crash the car. This story sounded similar to the one I read about in the text message exchange and talked to Christine about during her interview. Christine and Angelo talked amongst each other to ensure they were not telling me. Wait, what? Christine and Angelo talked amongst each other to ensure they were not telling me the same story, but with the facts twisted. So they were trying to get on the same page, is what he's saying here. What the? At the end, both believed there were two highway incidents preceding the crash, and one Mackenzie was driving her car and the other Dominic was driving his. Christopher was the person who picked them up in both incidents. Hench. I have questions. At this point, I expressed interest in reviewing Hench. On 10/6/2022, Christine told me after questioning Hench about the incident, he told her it only happened once. There were not two different incidents. Ah, I thought there were. There's not? I'm confused because I thought one Kenzie was driving and I thought two Dom was driving or vice versa. Yeah, the shoekeeper. Yes, he does, McBlonland. Yes, he does. That's called coordination. Oh. Why are you leaving your chit laid everywhere? Evie's telling Kenzie, you nasty. I read one, well, yeah, I don't know. This is confusing. According to Angelo, in recent months, Dominic had been wanting to break up with Mackenzie because he was getting tired of her possessiveness. He added that recently they were fighting between 2 to 3 times per week. Angelo confirmed having witnessed their verbal altercations, but never a physical altercation. Christine, on the other hand, stated that Dominic had called her in the past to get Mackenzie to leave his house because she physically assaulted him. Angelo added that even when Mackenzie got kicked out of Dominic's house, she would return immediately afterward and attempt to gain entry. Angelo mentioned that when Mackenzie was in 10th grade, anytime she got kicked out of Dominic's house during a fight, she would go to her house and text Dominic about wanting to unalive herself. When she had her driver's license, when she got kicked out, she would drive herself back to his house. Angelo added that as Mackenzie grew up, her behavior became more erratic. Upon asking if he was ever a passenger in a vehicle operated by Mackenzie, Angelo said no. Angelo mentioned that Mackenzie told him she was a great driver, but he heard the opposite from someone else. Angelo suspected that person was Blair, but was not certain. Angelo added that he never wanted to get in the car with Mackenzie because of her anxiety and the fact that she was high-strung. According to Christine Russo, Dominic and his friend Blair constantly bitched about Mackenzie's speeding and crazy driving habits. I specifically asked Angelo if he knew from Dominic about threats made by Mackenzie in 2022. He said threats were made and Dominic told him Mackenzie was crazy enough to follow through on the threats she made. Angelo did not provide specific examples of such threats. In closing, I asked Angelo what he thought happened in the car immediately before the crash, given his knowledge of Dominic and Mackenzie and his description of their relationship. He believed the crash was not an accident. Rather, it was a deliberate act whereby Mackenzie intentionally drove the car into the building. Angelo believes some sort of fight or possibly an argument took place in the car, which prompted Mackenzie to purposely crash the car. Angelo suspected Dominic might have tried talking Mackenzie down. Angelo doubted Dominic was S at the time of the crash. According to him, Dominic had plans about owning his own business. Before we ended the recording, Christine mentioned an incident when Dominic struck a mailbox in front of her house while driving as a result of being assaulted by Mackenzie. According to her, the incident happened in March of 2022. I remember this mailbox incident. I do. I'm sure we'll get to those text messages when we get there. We're only in 2021 of the text messages. I assume most dealers wouldn't want to be in a car speeding. That would be a bad business decision. Ooh, that sounds good. Are you, Barbie? The routine of prison will help Mackenzie's deregulation, in my opinion. Shoekeeper says every time Angelo says something neutral, Miss Russo sort of chimes in. Kelly says Blair did hold back in the police interview. Mr. says she means well. Alyssa says his mother even says they used that route all the time. Facts. Shopkeeper, sorry. I feel like during Miss Russo and Angelo's interview, it seemed like they were just kind of piling on to lead Kenzie doing it on purpose. Jametta says Kenzie wouldn't let Dom eat dinner with his grandparents. No, she wouldn't. Remember, the fight. Glenda says on the text messages there was more than one time. I don't know if he went, but there was definitely more than one time. The same thing happens 2 weeks later that he threatened, but she is the one that was speeding at the end of the day. It's interesting because the whole 2-time things, Christine Russo, the sister, said that there was 2 incidents. But here in the police report, Miss Russo said that there wasn't. But in her interview, I thought she said that there was. And Hench is the only one that really knows. They ended up eating with the grandparents, according to Miss Russo's interview. Angelo is not a witness or suspect. Don't forget, they are deep mourning, and I see no reason why his mom can't be there for support. True. Kenzie wouldn't let Dom do crap without them fighting. Yes, hokey pokey. His mother even said it was a common route. Yes, that is true. I've heard from numerous people that it was a common route. Anthony lawyered up. That's his lawyer, not his mom, even though it's the same person. Anthony? How would they know it wasn't him? I think Angela would have been more forthcoming without her there, says Kelly. Steve didn't get that treatment for Kenzie. Bing bong. That's my point. That's my point. We're in true crime, so we should all be expecting everyone to have fair trial, fair all across the board, especially with the police, even though that's a whole nother thing. Yes, B12. You guys can already tell where we're going here. Yeah, it's very much a common cut through. Yeah, we had even one of our members drive it. Well, not that that matters about like the common thing, because, but she drove it. And I read to you guys, Kimberly says, my husband and I drove Mackenzie's route. I was a passenger, so I could really pay attention. Number 1, the road is longer than I expected. Number 2, the road is not as curvy as I expected. 3, I had a panic attack. All I could think about was Davion. I can't imagine the terror both boys felt, but for some reason, I could only feel Davion's presence. And that is interesting because some of the psychics we've heard also say the same thing. She says it was well worth my time, and I'm so glad I experienced it. So this is one of our members that drove the route. We're gonna end there with the report because I have to eat and go up on panel. Thank you, Shopkeeper, for becoming a member. Yes, the members only tomorrow. Don't miss it, you guys. Don't miss it. It's gonna be a really good one. And I'm making all the time in the world for it. So we can go for as long as we want on that members only. I'm shocked that his mother just got to blab away during the interview. She's allowed to be there, but she isn't allowed to talk during his interview. I live so close, but I refuse to go. I feel like I panic as well. I have heard that a lot about the road not being that curvy. Strong energy, Davion, not as curvy. Yeah. The members only will probably start. I'm in Cali time. So I would say definitely after 3 p.m. So hopefully you guys can make it. I'll know more like tonight. I'll schedule it and make it public. I already have a thumbnail and all of it ready to go. So I just need to figure out my scheduling. Sunday, I plan to be live most of the day to catch up on cases, and there's so much Kenzie stuff I still want to review. I want to finish this report from the main detective. I want to revisit some interviews, and the members only will be reviewing some psychic stuff and some connections that I found, which I need to like work on how I'm going to present that, because I'm not taking sides. I'm not defending anyone. I've always supported the Russos and the Flanagans, and that continues. That still stands. I think Kenzie does need to be serving time, but I question some of these investigational factors. And there are lawyers that say that, you know, there is some kind of issues here, although everyone's opinion is different, but I respect that. I do want to watch a video of that. So it should get interesting here the next few days. But shout out to you guys for being here. We're about 3 hours in. I will be going on panel on ATS. We're just rewatching Bubba's interview. You're working way too hard, Millie. Thank you, Donna, for being here, and thank you for supporting. It really does help a lot. Millie gotta bring Henshin real quick. I ain't gonna say anymore until tomorrow. But some of you might have a change of thought. Some of you might change your mind. And it's all public information, so I'm not doing anything wrong. It is America. I'm entitled to look into this information, and I can speak on it. But it's all public, I swear. Shout out to the mods that were here. What time tomorrow? Like after 3 p.m. Cali time. Yes, McBlonlin. Thank you, Lakeside. I always appreciate Lakeside being here because Lakeside knows a lot about the law too. So I do really appreciate you, Lakeside. You're always supporting too. And same with all the new members and Chucks and the replay viewers and all of you in live chat. You guys keep it going. So I appreciate that. Be good. Take care of yourself and have a good night. Thank you, Mr. West. I will see you guys tomorrow evening, members only. And then Sunday should be a full day of true crime. So catching up on old cases and catching up on Kenzie. So I hope to see you guys there. Please, please, please make sure you tap the like button on the way out. And I will see you guys on the members only for tomorrow. Bye, guys.